Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of DisasterCast. My name is Bert, and I am thoroughly exhausted with living through a major historical event.
Yeah, I'm just like, can we stop?
I'd be okay with stopping. It's like, it's just enough. It's really enough. I'm just saying, it's really enough. Ugh.
I'm tired.
Me too. I was mentioning to Kayla the 3 Minutes of Ecstasy song, which is one of my favorite songs. And it's also one of the few songs that I can actually sing in tune. So it's part of the reason why it's one of my favorite songs. But I'm gearing up for another Drag King show later this month for Halloween. And I'm just like, well, I kind of want to do this song because I think it'd be really funny. I think that would be a good song. And so I'm pretty well set that I'm going to do that. But now it's like, okay, but what is my costume going to be? Hey, Dusk Shadow Fox, thank you very much for 27 months. Yeah. You're all going to listen to me talk about being a drag king for a little bit. I hope that's okay. Anyway, so now I'm just sitting here like, oh, what should my costume be? But I'm also like thinking about, but also Halloween, you know, like maybe I should lean more into the Halloween thing. And one of my friends who is also a drag king posted on their Twitter this you know, the little word search where the first words you find are your Halloween costume for this year. You know the one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the ones that I found were Ben Shapiro slutty. And, like, at first I was like, oh, that's silly. And then I was like, wait, that could actually be a really fucking good costume. But the only problem that I'm hitting now is I'm like, how do you make Ben Shapiro slutty?
Bring a bucket and a mop.
For this wet-ass P-word.
That's like,
the other downside is that I will have to like really like it is something I'm really gonna hate about myself is I'm gonna have to watch a lot of Ben Shapiro clips because if I decide that I want to do that I want to like do a Ben Shapiro costume, then I will be that person who like gets really dedicated and needs to like recreate his mannerisms and like, you know, actually act like him.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, ugh. But also the idea of slutty Ben Shapiro is really, really funny.
It is funny.
So now I'm just sitting here like, could I pull off a slutty Ben Shapiro while singing 3 Minutes of Ecstasy?
I think you can.
I mean, I hope that I could. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Richie, use your name. Yeah, I need a drink after that image too. Slutty Ben Shapiro. Now it's like really in my head, so I'm just like, There's gotta be a way we can do this. Anyway, I thought I'd share with you all some of the stuff I've been thinking about lately.
I was just taking the time to put some images into the disaster chat to go along with the stories I'm going to be telling today.
Yeah, if you are not in the Discord, which, why? What are you doing with your life? If you're not already in the Discord, Kayla is currently putting some stuff in the Tragedy Topics chat, so if you take a look at those images, you get a nice little preview of what you have in store.
What is the website?
Kayla's actually very excited about this episode. She's had 2 weeks to prep for it.
I already had these prepped before, and then I got sick.
Well, you know, it's like, these were already planned last week, but yeah, Kayla got sick, and so now she's had like another week to like, you know,
make sure
flesh them out a little bit more, yeah, and make sure she's got everything that she needs. So, looking like, based on everything I'm seeing, it's looking like it's going to be a good, yeah, she only tells me a little bit, but it's looking like it's going to be a good one. Izzy, thank you so very much for the 11 months. Hello, Birdlings. I'm doing some arts and crafts on the side, so won't be chatting as much. No worries at all, Izzy. We are happy to be your background soundtrack while you get some work done.
Let me tell you about some death.
Yeah. Work and listen to death. It's like whenever I'm doing something and listening to Ask a Mortician.
Yeah.
I've gotten really into that. I found that, and if anyone could recommend to me, because I'm like really listening to a lot of podcasty type stuff, like the stuff that you can like listen to while you're doing something else. And I am really getting into, so I really like Ask a Mortician. I've really gotten into Illuminati. Mm-hmm. Her videos are awesome. So shit that's like in that vein, I just really like I really like a calm female voice teaching me about things.
Fair enough.
So if anybody knows of any other podcasty type YouTube content that's down that vein, please feel free to DM it to me or pop it in the chat or whatever. Okay, I think we've kind of gone on long enough. It's probably time to actually like start the whole streaming thing.
I guess.
I guess we should probably do that.
Okay. So today I've got...
Oh, here, let me give you my, Kayla writes down the, topics on a little pad that I've got, so that way whenever I edit the video, it's a little bit easier for me to put in the description the tragedies that were discussed.
Okay, so today I've technically got 4 stories. One of them's really short, but goddamn, I wanted to talk about this one.
Ooh, okay, so I like it whenever, I really do like it whenever you've got something that you just like, it's like, I just want to discuss this.
Yeah. One of the stories, I will go ahead and spoil it, Bird already kind of knows about.
A little bit, yeah. But whenever Kayla mentions something that I have some memory of, I sort of intentionally purge my memory of it, so that way Kayla can enjoy teaching me about it. And also, apologies in advance for the sniffling and the throat clearing. It's temperature change season in North Carolina, and our allergies are suffering for it.
I want to die.
Yeah, it's rough.
I actually texted our cousin because I'm going to a birthday party later today. I texted him and I'm like, my allergies are going crazy. If I need to hide in your house for a little bit, I'm gonna do it. And she said, that's fine. It's a good thing I'm her favorite cousin. I take advantage of that shit.
I mean, you know.
If you got it, you got it.
Yeah, what's the point of being a favorite anything if you're not taking advantage of it every now and again?
Yeah, you're grandma's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how you've prospered.
Yep.
Alright. So today we have the Collinwood school fire.
Great, another fire.
Which has victim blaming,
goody!
bottlenecking, and a delightfully fun site that I have linked in our Discord.
When you say delightfully fun,
it actually is kind of fun, even though it's talking about this horrible disaster, because it's one of those Wix created sites, but it's got like transitions, and it's got fun things that you can click on and be like, oh, you can click here on this destroyed rubble of a building to learn more about how it was built, and why it was built, and the times. I find that shit fun.
I'm a little bit... I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about all the, like, Wix... You know, the Wix advertisements and the
one time it actually worked.
Like, the websites that they show, you know? Which is always, like, stock footage of, like, the guy from Shang-Chi sitting at a computer pointing at it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Simile. I'm sorry. I have to... I know he like... Although, granted, I guess he doesn't necessarily hate it, because it sort of, you know, gave him a little bit...
I think he's made peace with it.
Yeah, I guess it's a better way to put it. He's made peace with it. Anyway, so, like, I just think of that, and it's always, like, the stock images of the people, like, smiling and pointing at things and having a good time, and all I can think of is just, like that in the context of a school fire where people died. Okay, Kayla's showing me some of this, and there's, like, a tram going to...
A burning building!
A burning building. Oh, my God. All right, let me get this. Let me get this one started.
All right, so the Collinwood school fire, I got that. I have the Hillsborough Disaster. That's probably going to be our biggest story, where a victim was declared in July of this year, 2021. A 3:15 p.m. deadline is included at one point in the story.
Deadlines are great.
And altered statements that are totally not altered. We swearsies, guys.
Oh no. Oh no. Wow, the way that Izzy just like immediately was like, oh my God! Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It is awful. I have included a diagram in the disaster chat. Excuse me.
Kayla had to pause to like literally swallow just one of those long...
No, I let out the burp. I was just quiet about it. Because Bird doesn't like me burping on stream. Alright, I have the Cave Creek disaster, where someone was too cheap to buy a drill, a student was turned into a carrier pigeon, and someone was too lazy to put up a sign that they ordered.
Oh my God.
This is some shit.
I've been watching so much analog horror that whenever you said Cave Creek, for some reason my head immediately went to Candle Cove, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I think that was a real...
And finally, we have the case of Marvin Heemeyer.
Okay.
Which involves a killdozer, a sewer line debate, and a blessing from God.
Oh my god, it's the tread guy!
Yeah, it's the tread guy.
Okay. I've been intentionally, I was gonna, when Kayla mentioned that she was gonna talk about this one, I said, oh shit, I was gonna listen to that, True Crime Obsessed episode on that, but now I'm not, because I want to learn first. So I'm gonna learn from Kayla first.
Okay. Which one would you like to hear?
Let's do the tread thing last, since I'm really excited about that one.
Well, it's the shortest one, so that'd be best.
Okay. Let's start with... Alright, give me the fire.
Okay.
Let's start with the fire.
Collinwood School Fire.
Alright.
Okay. Oh god. The Collinwood School Fire is also known as the Lakeview School Fire, because it occurred at the Lakeview School in Collinwood, Ohio, but it's also called the Collinwood School Fire. I'm just like...
Oh, okay, great. I love it whenever it starts off confusing.
Yeah. So, this ended up being one of the deadliest school disasters in United States history.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with that.
Feels like the best place to start.
Yep. And this fire occurred March 4th, 1908. So we getting old.
I was about to say, we getting retro up in here.
Mm-hmm. So, the first sentence about this disaster is, the Lakeview School was a fire trap.
Oh, great!
Similarly designed buildings could be found throughout the nation.
Now, when you say fire trap, you literally mean there's a fire and now we are trapped.
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't one of those where they were trying to be clever and be like, oh, well, the fire won't move because it'll be trapped in this one location.
No, if you are in this location when a fire breaks out, you're kind of trapped.
Oh, great.
So, this fire, it went really bad because the school was brick and the masonry exterior acted as a chimney.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, so the flame went upward.
Oh, that's really not good.
And while it had bricks and masonry on the outside, it was all wood on the inside.
Oh, fuck me, sideways.
Yeah, there were open stairways, and there were no fire breaks anywhere in the school.
So what is a fire break?
It's whenever there's an open pocket to allow for fire to dissipate or to try and snuff it out.
Okay.
It's kind of built into every building at this point. It's supposed to give you some means of either escaping the fire or some means of the building trying to stop it from going any further.
Okay. So it's a marvel of engineering and an incredible safety feature, and we should all have it everywhere.
Yes, this did not have it, so it went through the chimney effect.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Which,
now that one I know about. That's the one where the fire just kind of keeps on expanding and taking up the space, and then it goes upwards so that if there's multiple floors, all the floors are fucked too.
Yeah, because it's relying on the movement of air in and out of the building to push it upwards, basically.
Fire needs oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
It's why they say the smoke inhalation will get you before the fire. Technically, it's not that you're inhaling smoke, it's that you don't have any oxygen to inhale.
Yeah, you're suffocating.
Yeah. So there's your delightful thought for the day. Dying in a fire is just as bad as you imagine, and in fact, it's even worse.
Yep. Yeah, also, the best part is you're gonna suffocate a lot faster, because if you get burned, then you're gonna be panicking. And you're gonna be trying to take in a lot more breath, but you can't do that because there's no oxygen around you, so you're gonna pass out, and then you're gonna be in pain, so the pain from the fire burns are simultaneously gonna make you pass out from the excruciating pain of it, but you'll also still be waking up, because your body's like, I need to stop this.
Mm-hmm. Sleep tight, everybody. Happy fucking Halloween, by the way. Happy winterine misgiving, everyone.
Which is worse, suffocating in a fire or burning alive?
Oh, God. That's hard. I think probably suffocating, because at least with the burning alive, eventually my body will go into shock from the pain, so, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with suffocating, raging.
How about we just avoid the fire entirely? I like that idea.
I'm too much of a pyromaniac. I like looking at fire. It's so pretty.
She does. It's a little concerning sometimes.
Okay, Dad taught me at a young age how to light the fireplace in the house. What else did anyone expect to happen?
Didn't really expect much of anything, I'll be honest.
Well, you weren't living at the house, so there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Lakeview only had 2 exits.
That's great. That's great. Setting us up for success really early on here.
Yeah. And then it ended up only having 1 exit because fire... fire blocked the front door entirely.
Yeah.
So they were trying to go out the back door. And
You were literally trying to outrun fire.
A whole bunch of panicking school children heading for 1 exit. How do you think that's gonna go?
That's gonna bottleneck. That's the bottlenecking you were talking about,
Yep,
right?
that is the bottlenecking.
How old were these students? Do I want to know?
It was in elementary school.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. God damn. This just got really awful really fast.
It wasn't already awful?
It was already awful, but now it's like really awful.
So, panicked children rushed to the rear door, and see, the hallways narrowed in partitions, and they stumbled and ended up climbing on top of each other trying to get out.
Yeah, those narrow hallways, because it's like, gotta keep them kids in a nice, orderly, single-file line.
Yeah, so they ended up blocking the exit completely with their bodies.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Before we go any farther, did anyone actually survive this?
Some people survived.
Oh god, emphasis on some?
Some.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't worry. Fine.
Oh, it doesn't seem like it's fine.
So Collinwood's small volunteer fire department and horse-drawn engines arrived too late. And they didn't have the proper equipment to battle this huge fire.
Like, it's like, a horse-drawn engines makes me think that it's like, all I can hear in my head is just like the clip-clop of the horse and literally just the guy in the passenger seat going, wee-woo, 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 wee-woo. And I worry that somebody in chat's gonna be like, okay, so Bird, you joke, but... and then they're gonna give me like this full breakdown of like the history and the evolution of sirens in emergency response vehicles. By the way, I am not dissing you if you know that. I do actually want to know those things. So, legit, how... I think that was like, actually, I think it was like a crank siren that they used to use.
There was a crank siren that they...
But I do just like, I still just really like the mental image of the guy in the passenger seat going, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Yeah, the first people out the back door survived. Yeah. This is your demand.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's how some people survived. They were the first people out the back door.
God.
So, yeah, in less than an hour of this fire starting, the 3 floors and the roof of the school collapsed down into the basement.
Oh, great! Now there's a collapsing on top of everything else!
Yeah, this was less than an hour after it started. That's how quickly this shit went sideways.
I don't know, I feel like for the people involved, it's probably the longest fucking hour of their life.
They were probably dead by that point.
Probably, yeah.
Trapped in a burning building with a chimney effect for an hour? Yeah, they were dead.
Yeah, suffocation got to everybody a long time ago.
Yeah, so the school collapsed into the basement, so it was only just a hollowed out brick ruin of the outside of the school.
Oh, great. So there's just like a burnt out little hollow shell of a school.
It's a husk.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Almost half the children and 2 of the teachers in the building died.
Oh God.
Yeah. Wanna know the numbers?
I mean, you're gonna tell me anyway, may as well.
172 students died,
Fucking hell.
and 2 teachers, and 1 rescuer who tried to get in to help. He got stuck.
Ironic.
Well, I think he went in through one of the windows and he tried to, like, get the bottleneck taken care of and try to put some order into it. And
Like,
then,
go out the window, you dumb little shits!
yeah, and then he got stuck.
Oh. And then he went, oh, mea culpa.
Pretty much. So, let's talk about the cause of the fire.
Yes, please, because as of right now, I'm operating under the assumption that just like a rogue fire just literally appeared and said, I'm about to fuck some shit up today.
Well, see, the thing is, we don't actually know how the fire started.
So it very well could have been a rogue sentient fire that just showed up and said, well, I'm about to start some shit today.
It could have been.
Oh, cool. I mean, not cool, but, you know, cool.
So, one prevailing theory that was used a lot in newspapers was that the building's janitor, Fritz Herter, was running the boiler too hot in the building and wasn't paying attention to it.
It's always the janitor's fault.
I mean, that name sounds foreign enough they were gonna blame anything on him.
You know, you make an excellent point.
It's 1908.
Yeah? I'm not gonna beat this in time.
No, you're not. Ray Kudo, you say that. Ray Kudo says song Smoking in the Boys' Room starts to play. But actually, there were times when girls would smoke in the basement close to near flammable materials.
I thought these were elementary school kids.
It was probably like elementary mixed with middle school.
I just realized, no, I'm choosing to have this mental image of elementary age girls smoking in the boiler room. Because that's just how it was back then.
I was about to say, it was 1908, baby.
Yeah, we gave kids, we gave elementary school kids cigarettes if they weren't growing fast enough or some shit.
I mean, we used to give them, like, rum and tequila for toothaches.
Used to?
Well, doctors don't officially prescribe it anymore.
Not officially.
Not officially.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just go ahead and retry.
So, another thing that possibly could have caused the fire was that there were heating pipes for the school that ran next to exposed wooden joists in the building.
Oh, yeah, that could possibly also cause it.
Yeah.
Alright, listen. Listen, Raikudo, with your, well, some elementary schools are grade 1 through 8. Let me have this mental image of fucking 8-year-olds smoking up in the boiler room, okay? Let me have this.
8-year-old girls.
8-year-old girls smoking up in the boiler room. And talking about how, like, Sally's such a bitch because she keeps trying to steal my rainbow markers. My mommy got those for me. I'll share when I feel like it. God, I need a cigarette.
Jesus.
Sorry. I got a little into that.
You're fine.
So anyway.
I mean, hey, you saw how I got into whenever you showed me Gemini Home Entertainment.
That's true. I've been showing Kayla analog horror that I've been watching a lot, and one of the things I've shown her is Gemini Home Entertainment, which if you've not seen that, I really recommend Gemini Home Entertainment. It's an ongoing series, and they are fucking killing it. If you like Marble Hornet style analog horror, this is definitely...
It's very good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I don't even really want to compare it to Marble Hornets, because that's not fair to Gemini Home Entertainment. It's really something, it's really its own thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's just the way that they present things and the way that they kind of keep it mysterious makes me feel a little bit like Marble Hornets. Season 1, though, not Season 2, whenever shit got really, really complicated. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the coroner inquest, they blamed it on conditions, quote unquote, because no one could legally be held accountable because they couldn't definitively say what caused it. All they said was, quote unquote, conditions.
Things. Stuff. I love how we both did that at the same time. Just stuff. Fire caused by stuff. Mention that's on the official report. Cause of fire, ... stuff.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
And many parents were quick to basically knock down the door to the coroner's office being like, this is a bullshit!
Like, excuse me?
Yeah, they were like, you need to hold someone accountable, like the school board, or the architects.
We are not leaving until we have somebody to blame for this.
Literally, yes.
Can somebody make that? Has anybody ever made that protest sign? If not, I need somebody to make that protest sign. I don't even care what the protest is for. We're not leaving until we have somebody to blame for this.
I feel like that's probably existed.
I feel like it has too.
I feel like I've seen it.
Probably.
So, J.H. Morgan, Ohio's Chief Inspector of Public Buildings, explained the problem in his annual report to the governor and citizens. Quote,
Problem is, shit's so fucked up, we can't really pinpoint the one thing that actually fucked the shit up. I was about to say, that was pretty much a joke, but how close did I get?
Quote, the cause of the fire cannot be determined. Many believe it originated from the heating system or boilers, but proof has been offered to the contrary. Unquote. People say it's this, but
we really don't know.
We don't know.
We can't really... It's like, oh, what was that one crime that has been really difficult to solve because there's just so many, like, there's just enough to make us go, okay. Oh, it's like Zodiac. It's like, okay, well, there's just enough to suggest that it's not Lee Arthur Allen, but also...
Arthur Lee Allen,
but also there's... It could be this person, but also there's just enough evidence to indicate maybe it wasn't that person. So it's like there's just enough evidence to say maybe it was Arthur Lee Allen, and then, but also just enough to say, well, maybe it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't Gary's dad.
It definitely was not. Oh my god, y'all, if you've not seen the documentary for the most dangerous animal of all.
Yep, Zodiac hunting the most dangerous animal of all.
Yes, please go watch that documentary. It's 4 episodes. The first 2, you're gonna want to tear your hair out. But it gets so fucking good after that. Once you get into, like, 3 and 4, it's like, it's a massive Captain Holt vindication moment.
Yep. It was... This guy desperately wants his dad to be the Zodiac.
Yeah, like, he desperately wants it to be it wants to be
the son of the Zodiac.
The son of the Zodiac killer, like... He really wants it.
So, while there's no formal explanation or cause, or really any closure on what happened, they still slapped a memorial plaque on a rock near the site.
There you go, parents. There's your lot. Enjoy it.
Pretty
now,
much.
Shut up.
But they didn't get it until 2003.
Fucking shit, man!
Over 100.
Literally, yeah, over
almost
100 years later.
95 years later.
Fucking hell, people. Hey, girl. Oh, God. He wants as much as Scotty's son wanted, whatever you couldn't give him on the fucking hell, Izzy. Like,
you are completely right.
That still makes me sad to think about. Like... Because like, I told that story to Dad, and he started looking up the guy on Wikipedia. But the thing is, you can't really find any information on him on Wikipedia. But do you know who has an entire Wikipedia article?
Who?
His brother.
Oh!
His twin brother. His twin brother, who's just a few minutes younger than him.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like, he's got a Wikipedia article, and he's got all this stuff, and it just really makes me sad. Like,
I'm
because, like, if I was that I'm serious. If I was this successful and had done half the things that this guy was claiming he had done, like, I would not give a shit what some rando in a fucking call center knew about me. You know?
Yeah.
I would pay somebody else to give a shit about that, you know?
Oof.
It just made me sad. Like, I mean, by the end of the call, I was kind of just really annoyed with him, but, like, once I started learning a little bit more, and, like, once Dad looked up that Wikipedia article, I was like, fuck, now I'm really sad about this, actually. Like, dude, are you okay? Because if I was as rich as you, I could afford some fucking therapy.
Yeah.
Oh god. I better stop or he's gonna complain about me on his friend's radio show that is heard in 3 different states. He told me about that too.
Ooh.
Imagine my luck if he fucking failed me and found this fucking video about me basically, essentially talking shit about him. I'm not trying to talk shit about him, but essentially I am talking shit about him. Like, imagine if he, like, found that because he's got, like, I don't know, fucking Google Alerts that comes up whenever somebody mentions Scotty from Star Trek. You know?
God help him! For that Google Alert.
I know, right? Yeah, like, you know, say he's got, like, a whole... Oh, God. And, like, you know, because Dad mentioned, because he was looking at the timeline, he was like, you know, Star Trek didn't really take off until this guy was in high school.
Oh, honey.
Yeah...
You know he tried to use that to get a girl to go to prom with him and she still said no?
I don't know, man. I mean, it was still a pretty nerdy thing, you know? Like,
exactly, that's why she still said no.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. For all I know, he could have gotten, like, made fun of for it instead of, you know, anybody thinking that it was something cool. I just feel bad. But yeah, just by luck, if this guy, like, you know, has a fucking Google Alerts thing on his phone and finds this fucking rando person talking shit about him on a stream, and then being like, how dare you?
So the town of Collinwood paid for the burial of 19 unidentified bodies.
Oh, great.
Which I'm just like, doesn't the school have a manifest of their students?
I think it's more, okay, so we know that these are the 19 kids that we haven't identified yet, but we really don't know which charred up husk is which. I think it's more like that.
Oof. So they share a grave at Cleveland's Lakeview Cemetery.
Yeah, just pop them all in the same grave, that's fine.
Why not? So, crews tore down the ruins of the school, I assume because looking at a hollowed out husk was kind of depressing.
Probably.
And then a whole bunch of arguments came out of what are we gonna do with this land? Because that's the first question that comes up as soon as a disaster happens.
That kind of is, I'm not gonna lie. Yep. Like, there is a lot of discussion about, so now what?
Yep. So the school board initially wanted to just build a new school on top of it. That was gonna go.
Let's go full blown Indian burial grounds, why don't we?
Yeah, and the parents who were still in mourning were like, no, fuck you, we're gonna file lawsuits to stop you from doing this. And they did.
How successful was that?
It actually worked.
Oh, wow. I was gonna say, like, on a scale of 1 to the Sandy Hook lawsuits, how successful are we talking here? By the way, fun fact, in case any of you didn't already know, I will share this delightful news with you. Alex Jones lost his, has lost multiple Sandy Hook cases that have been, civil suits that have been filed regarding the shit that he said about the Sandy Hook victims and their families. And so now it's just a matter of how much he's going to pay out, and I really hope the jury makes him pay a lot.
Just because he didn't want to turn over any evidence?
Yeah, he lost, but the judge ruled against him purely by default, because in discovery he just would not give any type of he just refused to cooperate with the court.
Yep.
So it was like, he basically said, well, I'm not gonna play, and he just sat in the middle of the arena and said he wasn't gonna play, and then was shocked whenever the game went on without him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they built a memorial garden instead, and the town paid for it. Well, the state paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a new Collinwood Memorial School was built to the highest standards of fire resistance. And was...
Okay, now hold on a second, because we just got done with a theater fire that said that exact same thing. This one's a little bit better.
Kind of, yeah. And they built it on an adjacent lot. So, I mean, you know, if a fire happens, it's not gonna happen in the exact same place.
But it's gonna happen.
And again, we have a lovely website that I have linked in the disaster chat. that gives you more information about the time period of when this happened, about, I think there's a little bit about the victims themselves and who died, and I didn't want to look at photos of dead kids, I'm sorry.
Wow, why on earth would you not want to do that?
I don't know, I can handle some dark shit, but... So yeah, that's the Collinwood school fire. What did we learn?
Bottlenecking is bad and, fire safety good?
Yes. Oh yeah, the victim blaming that went along with this, by the way.
Oh yes, continue with that.
See, what had happened was...
Oh god, here we go.
There was an initial report from a newspaper that said that the back doors to the school opened inward.
Oh no!
So, the victim blaming came of thinking that the kids were pressing on the doors and keeping themselves trapped, and may have crushed some kids behind the doors whenever they were trying to get out.
Okay.
But what actually happened was the doors opened outward, and this was just a bad case of reporting. It didn't actually happen. But they still tried to blame the kids of why couldn't they just...
Yeah, why couldn't you all just be calm and reasonable in the middle of a life-threatening emergency?
You children?
Yeah.
You literal children?
Yeah. Never mind that adults kind of have the same... The phenomenon is witnessed in any population that is faced with a sudden life-threatening emergency that
people panic and want to save themselves.
Yeah, this is literally documented in any... It does not care what the population is or anything like that. Age, race, creed, sexual orientation, the same thing happens every time. Because people are panicky.
And when people get panicky, they get stupid.
Yeah, it just happens.
Collinwood school fire! Okay. So the Hillsborough Disaster is the biggest one, but the Cave Creek Disaster, I think, is the more face-palmy one.
Okay. Let's do Hillsborough in that case, because I see you got that pulled up, and I get the feeling you would really like to talk about this.
It's a big thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be cutting down a lot of things, because holy shit, so much went into this.
Ooh, alright.
Now, let me ask you, Bird, have you ever been to a major sports event?
Yes, I have. I think the biggest sporting event that I've ever been to is in Hickory, North Carolina, when I went to a Hickory Crawdads game, which is a baseball team, by the way, everybody. And
I think everyone in North Carolina has been to a baseball game.
Yeah, so I think that's the... No. Actually, no. It was the Hurricanes. I went to the Hurricanes playoff one time because one of my roommates was like super into it, and she got a couple of like season passes on the cheap for people, and I actually went there. It was one of the playoff games. I went with a girl. Okay, I don't think I've ever told you the story. I went with a girl as a date, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so like... And, like, date kind of loosely. It was mainly just, like, we both just kind of wanted to fuck, but we sort of liked hanging out at the same time. It was one of those, like, we're kind of going on a date, but we're really only doing it as an excuse to make it socially acceptable for us to fuck. When we could have just met up and fucked.
I was supposed to say, we could have just done that. Are a thing.
Yeah, like, we could have just done that, but, I mean, like I said, we kind of like spending time with each other. And also, I had season passes to the Canes playoffs, so, you know.
Okay.
It was a pretty big deal in Raleigh. So, like, we went there, and I went to go and get her a drink. You know, kind of doing the gentlemanly thing. So I went to go get her a drink, and there were, like, other people. So I was wearing a Canes jersey, because, you know, that was the team we were there for. I actually really like hockey, by the way. I get pretty into it. I think it's really fun.
I've never been to a hockey game. I want to go to one.
It's very fun. So I get to the concession stand, and there's, like, this group of folks, and they're, like, wearing the opposing team's jerseys, and I like watching the sport. I'm not really into, like, you know, getting up
team
in other
dynamics
fans' faces.
and shit.
Yeah, like tribal shit. That's not really my thing. So I'm just there getting some getting some Cokes. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm getting her fucking Diet Coke and myself a Dr. Pepper. And so, like, I get that into one of those little trays, and you know, these guys are like, you know, like, team dynamics, like I said, team fans, some of them get aggressive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, they do.
And, like, it wasn't like they were, like, trying to pick a fight, but it was more like they were trying to be intimidating. But, you know me, I'm one of those people, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna ignore you when you try to be like that. But, you know, he was like, a couple of guys were kind of trying to showboat because there were a couple of girls there, too. So, you know, I get it, but I'm not gonna be a part of your little showboating thing. So I'm just kind of there. And I'm just, like, at one point I think I just said, dude, I'm just trying to get some fucking drinks. Like, fucking chill. I think is basically what I said. Just fucking chill. And like, oh, you gonna tell me to chill? And I was like, oh god, here we go. I was like, oh Jesus Christ. What? In my head, I'm like, what the fuck did I say anything? You know?
Yeah.
Like they were just looking for. So at the other time, there was a couple of other folks who had Canes jerseys, and again, the tribalism really kind of starting to trickle in right now. And I'm just like, and I'm just like, and I'm grateful to the folks who showed up in the Canes jerseys because they were just like, oh, they're trying to like be mean to this person, you know. So I'm grateful to that. Because it's like, okay, cool, maybe everything will, like, calm down. I'm not looking for... I just want everything to fucking calm down so I can just get my drinks and leave.
Yeah.
And so one of the, like, guys with the, one of the guys with the Canes jerseys, like, had this, like, thing of nachos, and then, like, he was just like, hey, back off, you know, it's, you know, it's like... I was like, oh, and I was... At one point, I was like, okay, we're all just here to have some fun, let's all just relax. And the guy, like, kind of tried to... So one of the guys in the opposing team jerseys, like, tried to shove me. And I was just like, and I kind of saw it coming, so I just kind of, like, jumped out of the way, because I'm like, no, if this gets physical, then, you know, that's not good. And whenever he shoved, like, I kind of moved, and I guess because of, like, the angling of it, it's really hard to explain, we were kind of clustered together, but because of the angling, he ended up accidentally shoving one of his... girls. When I say one of his, I say his, I say like one of
a girl in one of their jerseys.
Yeah, right. Well, and it kind of shoved her, and she just kind of like stumbled into the guy with the nachos, and then the guy with the nachos kind of stumbled, and like the nachos ended up like in somebody's hair at one point.
Oh god!
Like it kind of caused a little bit, which is
it was a domino effect.
Yeah, which kind of happens. Like everybody's sort of moving at once. Somebody shoves one person, center of balance gets thrown off. I'm like kind of ducked down almost. I've got my little tray of like drinks, and like now it's really starting to kick off. And I wish I could tell you all that I like stood up and was this big badass man who was like, everybody just calm the fuck down.
No, I was sit
not.
Close to the floor, crawl out, and get away.
I literally did that. I just crawled. I just kind of like down on the ground, just kind of crouched out. I just kind of duck waddled my way out from in between them while they kind of like got focused on each other, and I just like scurried back to the fucking chair, to my fucking seat, and I was just like, here's your Diet Coke.
Oh, is everything okay? Yeah,
yep, everything's fine. And I'm just like sitting there, just kind of slumped down a little bit. I think at one point I saw security going past me when I was like, and I was just like, please, nobody mention that I was there. Please, nobody mention. I don't think anything really came of it. I'm pretty sure security just like broke them up and might have ejected a couple of people. I'm pretty sure that's all that happened. But it was just like, I was just like sitting there like, all I could think about was all the times whenever riots start after big games, and this was a playoff game. And I was like, oh fuck, did I just start? I was terrified that there was going to be news about a riot, and that one of y'all was going to call me and be like, hey, there was a riot in Raleigh, are you alright? And then I'd have to be like, funny thing about that. See, she was very nice, though. It was a very lovely, quote-unquote date, and even better sex afterwards, so, you know.
See, you have a better story of going to a big sporting event, because the biggest story I have is our mom is really into sports.
Mm-hmm.
Our dad has never been into that, and the only person more into sports than our mom is her twin sister.
Yeah, they're, like, super into it.
Yeah, and it was, like, very early days of the divorce. So I was just with mom, and she mentioned, no, this was before she started dating again, so she just got these tickets, probably at work or something. She got 3 tickets to go to an Atlanta Braves game.
Oh god, that's like her favorite team of all time.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves, her favorite team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up in the house, I did not form my own opinions on sports because I didn't really care. And I was just like, oh, Atlanta Braves, yay, mom's excited, so therefore I am excited. I was like 11 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
So the 3 of us ended up going down to...
the 3 of you meaning you, mom, and our aunt?
Yeah, me, mom, and our aunt. We ended up going down to Atlanta just for a little girls' weekend. to just go and have fun, see the game, and hang out and everything. This was back whenever, because Atlanta is where Turner Broadcasting System, TBS, was, and this was back whenever TBS owned Cartoon Network.
Oh.
So there were a whole bunch of Cartoon Network figures and shit.
Oh shit, that's actually really cool.
It was it was a lot of fun. I got to see, there was this big,
And this is when Cartoon Network was good.
yeah, because there was this big memorial of Ed and Eddie in Atlanta Braves
Holy
gear.
shit, that is actually
that I got my picture taken in front of. I think I still have it somewhere.
That is genuinely cool.
And the whole point of the story is to say that there is an Atlanta Braves game. I don't know which game it was. I don't know what year it was. There's an Atlanta Braves game that has me in an Atlanta Braves jersey that Mom bought me for that day because I wanted it, with my face painted for free because they were doing that for kids at the stadium. Half red, half blue. And a free foam finger that they gave me, again, because I was a kid.
Nice.
There's video footage of me with my mom and her sister cheering on the Atlanta Braves that was put on the Jumbotron and put up for commercial broadcast.
Oh, that's
because
really
we were big. They had a little kid decked out in all Atlanta Braves stuff. Of course they were going to put that shit on TV.
Yeah, and you were like swept up in the... Because that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, because I was having so much fun.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing nobody talks about when it comes to like live sporting events. It's really easy to get kind of caught up in the moment because like there's a lot of electricity. It's part of the reason why I get super into hockey games whenever I'm at one live. There's a lot of like adrenaline and electricity, and it's really, really contagious.
That's exactly what happened with me at the Atlanta Braves game because, again, since our mom loves sports and everything, I knew exactly how baseball works. I know how baseball works. I know a bit about basketball, and I know entirely how football games play out. So I'm not the girlfriend who's asking, oh, what does that mean? Why are they dogpiling? No, I know exactly what happens. So
you know when to cheer.
Yeah, I know when to cheer, and I always make sure I know what team we're rooting for,
Right.
if I don't know beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, so there's footage of me, little 11-year-old me, decked out in
Aw.
face paint, cheering with my mom and her sister on TBS.
That is really neat.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
That is a really cool, like, I mean, I know mine ends with a fight that I kind of sort of started, but also really great sex, but I still feel like that's a really great story, too.
Well, see, they put me on TV, but then whenever I went to go get, like, a hot dog or something, a lady stopped me on the stairs, because she was a photographer for the Braves and everything, and they ended up using my picture on their website for a while.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I wish I could find it.
Yeah, we should hunt that down.
Yeah, I think Mom probably had. I know Mom still has my jersey from that day. Because I've
probably
seen
got
it.
yeah, so she's probably got some kind of a copy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we have thoroughly derailed everything.
Oh yeah, we're
But
talking.
I feel like for a good cause, because those were some pretty good fucking stories.
Yeah.
Both of us. So.
I'm on TV, and you nearly started a riot. But yeah, I want to go to a hockey game with you once.
It's really fun.
Because I've never been to a hockey game, and I've always wanted to go.
It's really fun, but I get super, super into it. Whenever things are finally somewhat... Whenever people aren't dying by the literal thousands...
When we're not in the middle of a historical event.
Yeah, when we're not in the middle of a historical pandemic, yeah, we'll go to a Canes game.
Okay. So the Hillsborough Disaster, which happened April 15th of 1989. And we have a specific time.
Oh, God! When there's specific times, that's when you know shit's about to get real.
Yeah. Let's get a little bit of history. So the Hillsborough Stadium was constructed in 1899, and it was selected by the Football Association. Football in England, so it's soccer for us dumb Americans.
European football.
Yeah, it was selected as a venue to host the Football Association Cup semifinal between Liverpool and Nottingham. Kickoff was scheduled for 3 p.m., and fans were advised to take up positions about 15 minutes beforehand. That's typical with sporting events.
Yeah. They want to get, like, a big sweeping shot of the crowd and all that.
Yeah, they want to... International football. Only America calls it soccer. Yeah, I don't know why we do that. And see, at the time of the disaster, most English football stadiums had this high steel fencing between, the spectators and the field to, because there used to be a big problem of fans basically climbing over and getting on the field.
If you think that hockey fans are extreme, they are nothing compared to international football fans.
No, I have watched on Twitter, I've seen people end friendships for years over football.
Like, people are really into their football.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Dream Warrior asked for a safety tip to avoid bottlenecking situations.
Alright, so the best way to avoid a bottleneck situation is, if you notice that a bottleneck situation is currently taking place, stand still and scream, "Oh no," over and over and over again. Keep doing that until the Kool-Aid Man busts in through one of the walls and yells, "Oh yeah!" And now you've got another path of egress. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we call it football in a game where we literally carry the ball around in our arms.
I don't know. I really do think that somebody just was really pissed off at Europeans that day.
What world war were we in?
It said, "I'll make my own football with blackjack and hookers." Actually, forget the football.
Pretty much. So yeah, they had these high steel fences to prevent people from running onto the pitch, basically.
Okay.
And exactly as Sabata 4 mentioned, hooligans go nuts.
They do.
And hooliganism...
The cause of this disaster, hooliganism.
Legitimately, yes.
Yeah.
Because football and soccer hooliganism is basically whenever violent or belligerent behavior is caused by spectators at sporting events, and it causes basically shit that starts from an epicenter of a couple of dipshits fighting, and it just spreads out until it hits the whole end of the stadium.
Yep, sounds about right. It really turns into like, I don't know why we're fighting, but we're fighting.
Yeah.
It's like it's like in Avatar when the guy just like picks the one guy up and says, "Hey, riot!" And everybody just starts fighting.
Yeah. Excuse me. So Raging Username says, "Found it. The word soccer comes from a slang abbreviation of the word association, where British players of the day adapted asuk, and eventually soccer or soccer football."
Huh. Okay. Anyway.
So hooliganism. So the high fences were put in place as a security measure, and they were trying to get more actual policemen instead of just security at sporting events.
Yeah.
Because of how bad it was.
Yeah, there are actual policemen at most American sporting events.
Because of this shit, exactly. Also because of the amount of alcohol served.
Yeah. It is very concerning how much alcohol we let sports fans have.
Yeah.
Sports fans legitimately do terrify me sometimes.
When I was an 11-year-old at an Atlanta Braves game, I could have looked either way and snuck a beer from someone around us. I could have done it.
Somebody probably would have given you one if you had asked.
I would have had to go up to another Atlanta Braves fan and say, "Hey, can I have a sip?" And they would have let me drink that beer.
They
would have.
They absolutely would have. Yes, but I gotta get this done a little bit faster than how we're currently going, so... Try that again. Luckily, nobody's really here for my A-level gaming at Katamari. They're here for the disasters.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the ironic thing is the general situation at Hillsborough was satisfactory compared to most sports grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Even though right now...
the ironic thing is that the song Ironic doesn't actually contain a single instance
of irony. Oh my god!
That's the ironic thing.
I'm so tired of hearing that joke.
I know, but you're gonna hear it a lot more.
I know.
Because I like making the joke.
I need to show you the Alanis Morissette musical.
Jagged Little Pill?
Yeah.
Isn't she suing about that?
I don't know.
Or was it the No, it's the documentary she's suing.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
So there were previous incidents at Hillsborough before the big one that we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
Hillsborough had hosted 5 Football Association Cup semifinals throughout the 1980s. So a crush occurred in 1981 in a 1981 semifinal, which resulted in 38 injuries, included broken arms, broken legs, and broken ribs.
It's always nice whenever a disaster gets like a couple of practice runs to like really gear up for
They literally got practice runs on this.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, let's practice this a couple of times before we actually disaster, because then that way we can be the best disaster we can possibly be.
Yeah, the police, after this particular one, they were like, hey, maybe reduce how many people you have going in. Maybe reduce how many people you got in there.
And the stadium went, sorry, what? Did you say something?
They're English, so beg your pardon.
Hey, Paul, you say something? Say something, Governor. Too late. Copper, I've already Brexited back to Australia. Or something. I don't know. I don't know your fucking European humor. Sorry, continue.
Jesus Christ almighty. So... in a post-match briefing of this initial incident, Sheffield Wednesday chairman Bert McGee remarked, quote, "Bollocks! No one would have been killed."
Oh god. That sounds like that is literally the most English statement I've ever heard in my fucking life.
So, regardless, they did alter the layout of the Leppings Lane end of the stadium where people could come in.
Mm-hmm.
So they divided the terrace into 3 separate pens to restrict sideways movement. So it made one huge opening into 3 smaller openings to give more crowd control.
Okay.
But, also allow more bottlenecking.
Yeah, but it feels like it'd be better to make 3 big openings.
You'd think.
But what do I know?
The 1981 change and other later changes to the stadium invalidated their safety certificate, and the safety certificate was never renewed.
Oh.
And the stated capacity of the stadium was never changed.
Hey guys, should we get around to updating the safety information? Bollocks, that ain't nobody gonna get hurt, mate. That's gonna be my response. Y'all, unless we come up with a better one, the raid message for today is gonna be, bollocks, that ain't no one gonna get hurt, mate. So if we don't find something better, that's gonna be our raid message.
Oh, God.
I'm counting on all of y'all to remember that, because I sure as shit am gonna forget by the end of the stream.
So the terrace was divided into 5 pens, where the club was promoted to First Division in 1984. Mm-hmm. And a crush barrier near the access tunnel was removed in 1986.
Great. Oh, great.
To allow for the flow of fans entering and exiting the central enclosure.
I feel like this might not be the best idea. Again, I don't want to tell you guys how to do your jobs, but I'm going to tell you how to do your jobs.
Yeah, after that first crush, Hillsborough wasn't chosen to host a semifinal for 6 years until 1987.
God, I wonder why.
It's a question.
It's still a mystery.
It's a mystery to this day. Anyway, serious overcrowding was observed at the quarterfinal and again at the semifinal. So, overcrowding.
Yeah, like Raccoon said, well, don't worry, something called COVID's gonna take real good care of that.
Yeah, it's fine. So, a Leeds fan, where Leeds was assigned to the Leppings Lane end to come in, because at sporting events, sometimes they have teams come in at different ends.
Yeah.
So, Leeds was assigned to the Leppings Lane end. And a fan of Leeds described disorganization at the turnstiles, and that there was no police direction inside the stadium or anything.
Oh, that's not
One
great.
enclosure became so compressed that he was unable to raise and clap his hands.
Oh, great.
Heck, acting like sardines there, governor.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Bollocks to that! Ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna get hurt, mate!
Yeah, other people said that there were people having to be pulled to safety from above, which I have actually seen this happen at some sporting events. Not to any ones I've been to, thank God.
That's why I would never go to like a massive, massive sporting event.
No.
Like, fuck that noise.
No, but I remember watching some baseball games or football games that Mom was watching in the den, and sometimes they would just cut to people in at balconies, like leaning down their arms and pulling people up to help them either get out of a crowded situation or to give them a better view of what was happening because they couldn't see.
Hell.
Yeah. Yeah, people died standing up.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Yeah. And so Liverpool and Nottingham met at the semi-final at Hillsborough in 1988, and fans reported crushing at the Leppings Lane end again. And Liverpool actually
Liverpool went, oh god, this again.
The Liverpool team actually did lodge a complaint before the match in 1989.
Liverpool was just like, we're sick of your shit. Stop it.
Yeah.
Oi, oi, stop it. That'll be £52 9 threepence, mate, as your fee for this. The crushing fee. I don't know. Don't call me out on this, guys. I don't know your sophisticated British humor.
And we can't ask Minx because it's supposed to be sophisticated humor. I'm proud of that one.
That was pretty good.
So, going back to it, there was a police presence at these sporting events, especially at larger sporting events, which is common apparently across the world. Because, sports fans are crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever said this, but sports fans be crazy.
They do. They do be pretty crazy, yeah.
So, the police presence had been overseen by Chief Superintendent Brian L. Mole.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah.
Elmo is here to save the day! Elmo's here
L. Mole. But you can still call him...
Elmo is here!
Yeah,
Elmo
he's...
will help! Elmo will save the day!
So Chief Elmo had a probationary PC in his department, was handcuffed, photographed, and stripped by fellow police officers in a fake robbery as a hazing prank.
Great.
That's the kind of people he oversees!
Excellent.
Yeah, 4 officers resigned.
I'm sorry, when hazing involves your clothes coming off, it's not hazing at that point, it's just like a really real, it's just gay sex with more steps.
Huh.
Yeah.
You're right!
Yeah!
So, 4 officers resigned and 7 were disciplined over the incident, so he's already starting at a bit of a disadvantage for having less officers for this incident.
Oh, cool bloody hell, we got to lose some of the coppers because they all went and decided they were gonna take a look at Jim's dick. God damn you all.
So, remember, the disaster happened on April 15th of 1989. Chief Elmo was actually to be transferred to the Barnsley Division, and this was done March 27th of 1989.
Wow. Okay. Kind of got a lot of moving parts going on here, it feels like.
It is a lot. And all those moving parts just bottleneck into one place and crush each other.
I see what you did. I see what you did there.
And see, the whole thing is that Elmo was supposed to be there when Hillsborough accepted the FA Cup semifinal to oversee safety regulations and the police presence that was going to have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the first meeting took place on the 22nd of March.
Okay.
5 days before he transferred. And along with Elmo came Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield.
Holy shit! You're making these names up.
I am not.
Oh my god.
So Duckenfield showed up for the meeting. Mole did not. Elmo did not. Elmo had better things to do.
Elmo was busy.
And there are no known minutes of this meeting, so we don't have any documentation of what was said or what happened. Which, someone like me who loves paperwork and everything, oh, that makes me happy. No documentation of anything that was said. Great.
Did the paperwork wrong, Susan Simpson will find you.
Yeah. Fuck that, I'll find you. So, the whole point of this is Elmo would have been assigned to the semifinal matches planning, even though he was being transferred, because he still had plenty of experience, he could still help, but they were like, no. He was like, no. I'm getting transferred. None of this is my problem.
Oh, God.
So, Duckenfield was left to be in charge of the semifinal match. He had never commanded a sellout football match before, and he had very little, if any, training or personal experience in how to do so.
Well, let me spin roll. Come on! God damn it! Okay, sorry, continue.
So we have someone who doesn't know how to plan shit like this being put in charge of planning shit like this.
That's great.
I love it.
Yeah. Just the other day, someone looked at me and said, oh, you've never flown a plane before in your life? Here, talk this scared 12-year-old down and tell her how to land her plane. It's a Boeing 747, by the way.
Yes, Brian. Elmo. His name is Brian L. Mole, but we call him Elmo because fuck him.
Got it!
Yay! You did it!
Okay, anyway, continue.
So, the disaster itself. So, like I said before, the opposing teams were segregated coming into the stadium. Because it literally just is safer that way. Oh, you get an extra 2 minutes.
Probably good that's gonna do me.
Why is there a clock?
Don't worry about it.
Are we gonna see a phone booth in here?
Probably.
I'd like to see that phone booth.
Oh shit, there he is.
That's not a phone booth?
No, not the phone booth. I saw him. There he is!
Oh, I was wondering why there was a hammock there.
Because the king's sleeping.
Okay.
I had to be bigger.
Okay, whatever. So, Nottingham supporters were allocated to the south stands and the east end with a combined capacity of 29,800, which was done by 60 turnstiles spaced along 2 sides of the ground. Liverpool were allocated to the north and west ends, aka Leppings Lane, which had a holding of 24,256 fans.
I got him! I got him, everybody! Mind blown! Mindscaped! Our mind is so clean, you could eat off of it!
Oh god.
So I had to get the Lord Chilled voice in there somewhere. Okay, so we got a lot of fans, and they're all crammed up together.
Yep. So, remember one end had 60 turnstiles for 29,000?
Mm-hmm.
The side that had 24,000 only had 23 turnstiles.
Oh, dear sweet Jesus Christ above.
Yep.
Katamari rules, it reminds us who we are. Even we need something greater than ourselves. How are you for... size is gonna be really bad. Like, it's gonna be like... I thought they were gonna tell me how much shit I was, because it's all they ever tell me is how shitty I am! Oh, shit.
Yay! You got an A.
Yay. That's literally the only time literally the only time in this whole game I've managed that.
So, although Liverpool had more supporters, Nottingham Forest was allocated the larger area. Which,
yeah,
that's fun.
great.
So, because of the stadium layout and segregation policies for the teams, turnstiles that normally would have been used to enter the north stand, where Liverpool was, they were off limits.
Alas, the king is back in the building! The royals it's the narrator. The royals rejoice, but Robo King is redundant. His unsound heart goes bitter batter batty. Aw, poor little Robo King. Your spirit animal's really up. Oh, your spirit animal's going evil. Wow, he really is your spirit animal.
Yeah!
Cosmic grievance, Robo King swells!
I'm gonna go off and start my own planet with blackjack and hookers.
Actually, forget the planet. With cosmic oh. He's still swelling. He's swelling a lot.
That's what I say when I get fat. Okay.
Are we going after him? I'm confused.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. I basically just gave up on trying to follow the plot.
Oh, okay,
Hang on, he's probably gonna talk about it. Updating trophy information! Huge Katamari. Yay! Alright.
Are we resolving it now, or are we saving it for a sequel?
I think we're solving it now.
Okay.
Roll up Rover King's reactor core to make a planet.
Farewell.
We actually are gonna make our own planet with blackjack and hookers! Quick! Stop this memory and return to sender! Did you all make that? Is that like us? No, 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 no! The nays have it!
Nay, nay, I say.
We're not replaceable, substitutable, imitable! Oh, the ugly! This is how the prince sees us?
You know, it's funny that you say we're not imitable while you are literally imitating someone else's voice.
A stuffed fish, a paper tiger, a collectible? Yuck! Take it away! Or better, roll it away!
You think Grandma is so confused whenever she hears noises coming from here?
Nope. Start from the endy bits and it should all fit. What great ideas the real king has, yes? The restoration and recycling day in one! Okay.
You okay?
Yeah. The Lord Shield thing actually takes even more out of me whenever I'm doing it with my binder on.
Okay.
Waste of space. We'll hold it down. You hurry and clean it up. Aww.
Aww.
Inside should be the reactor core to move the bot. The way in seems to be locked up tight. We spy a heart, the bot's sad broken heart. Roll that up and maybe the doors will open.
This reminds me of a level from the Simpsons game.
I know, right? Cruel, cruel the prince. We can spare 1 minute, not a moment longer.
Oh, God.
This buzzkill business. Blech. Go and see to your monstrous creation. I didn't even do it. Come on. Ah.
You got it?
I know it wants me to jump, but I hate the jump. Please, just... Oh my fucking god. Okay, let's just try. This fuck's sake. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Continue.
So, because some of the turnstiles were off limits, the Liverpool supporters had to converge to a single entrance at Lepping's Lane.
Please let me. There we go. Okay, so everything's converged. Great.
So on match day, radio and television advised fans without tickets to not attend. And rather than establishing crowd safety as a priority, the police and security viewed their roles and responsibilities through the lens of hooliganism. So they were more concerned about making sure fights didn't break out rather than whether people were safe.
Stop them hooligans.
Yeah.
Oh god, it wants me to do the jump thing, and it was so awful at the fucking jumps. Ugh.
There you go.
Okay, I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
Proud of you.
Yay. Okay.
What the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay.
Alright.
So 3 chartered trains transported Liverpool fans for the match.
Great. Oh, for fuck's sake, you assholes. Oh my god.
The 3 trains ran in 1988, but only 1 such train ran in 1989. So, not as bad as it could be.
I feel like that still feels pretty bad, though.
So the 350 passengers arrived at the ground at 2:20 p.m.
Okay.
And it's bad when we get to specific times.
Yep. Specific times is bad. This is the thing that I have learned from all of this. And also that jump mechanics that utilize dual shock move. They utilize the stupid fucking... I don't like gimmicks.
You gonna be okay?
I don't like gimmicks. The DualShock thing where they were just like, oh yeah, move the controller and it'll make things happen is shitty, and I don't like it. I hate it.
You gonna be alright?
I'll be alright, eventually.
Okay. So, a whole bunch of the supporters were in no hurry to enter the stadium too early.
No, yeah, I mean, you gotta stay outside and pregame.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable, but that also means a lot more people who have pre-gamed are going to be walking in there at the same time.
That is true.
Never good.
Nope.
Yeah. What the fuck are you even doing anymore?
I don't know. I think there's one more heart to roll up, but I don't know where it is.
I don't know what the true disaster is. This.
I don't know anymore.
The heart is on the head.
Okay. Oh, I see it. It's kind of like moving around. That's annoying.
That's fun.
Ah,
Jump.
I know, I'm trying.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Okay, there we go. Got it. Shut up.
It's funny.
Okay. Just climb up here. No. Come on. Up you get. Oh god, I gotta roll up enough to be able to roll it. Okay.
Work them legs,
I'm
baby.
trying. Ugh.
I'm having fun.
Shut up.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a good day.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm just here to make you happy, after all.
I mean, why else do you exist?
Literally no other reason.
So between 2:30 and 2:40, there was a buildup of supporters outside the turnstiles of Leppings Lane, eager to enter the stadium before the game began.
Mm-hmm.
And at 2:46 p.m., the BBC's football commentator John Motson had already noticed the imbalance of distribution of people in the Leppings Lane pens.
It's like, hey guys, feels like something's bad's happening.
Shit's going sideways, governor!
Oh, bollocks. Someone might actually die here. Someone might actually die, mate.
Maybe. Who knows?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I am actually gonna fail this shit.
So outside the stadium, a bottleneck developed with more fans arriving than could be safely filtered through the turnstiles before 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And people were presenting tickets at the wrong turnstiles, and those who had been refused entry couldn't leave because the crowd behind them remained, and it was obstructing them so badly.
Oh my god. So, like, even the people who, like, weren't supposed to be there were stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So fans outside could hear cheering as the teams came on the pitch 10 minutes before the match started.
Mm-hmm.
And as the match kicked off, they could not gain entrance. So not only are people stuck outside, but now they're getting pissed.
Yeah, they're missing the game, which is the whole reason why they were here.
Yeah.
I mean, besides to drink. To publicly drink in a socially acceptable manner.
Yeah. Literally, though.
Okay. Ah! I hate the stupid jump mechanic! Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm stopping everything because I need to see Bird do this.
Please jump! For the love of God! Jump! Jump! Jump, I say! I fucking hate stupid, gimmicky motion controls! God damn it.
So...
I hate gimmicky motion controls! Is the one thing that I really, really hate about this fucking game, is the goddamn motion control gimmick.
Press R2.
Fucking hell, you mean to tell me this whole time there was a goddamn dedicated button for jumping?
I don't know.
I'm so fucking mad right now. Why the fuck didn't any of you tell me that there was a goddamn button that was dedicated for jumping? I have been making myself miserable with this fucking motion control bullshit. And this whole time, all I had to do was press the R2 button?
Yes.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
You have any idea how much easier this game would have been for me?
It would not have been nearly as fun for me.
Fuck off! I was so pissed. I was so pissed. All of you people, this is like the 5th or 6th stream of this. We have spent nearly 20 hours on this game before today, and nobody thought to look, nobody went, hey Bird, did you know?
Okay, now that's not fair. I did look it up before and I knew.
You fucking knew the whole time?
Yes, I did.
I am gonna actually murder you.
No, you're not.
I am gonna murder you in your fucking sleep.
There are worse ways I could die.
I'm gonna lock you in a fucking theater fire someday.
You don't hate me that much.
Maybe I do.
Excuse you. Who gets you the best birthday and Christmas presents?
That is true.
There you go. So anyway. So a police constable radioed control requesting that the game be delayed.
Damn it. Yeah. Delay the game. And they were like, sorry, Governor, can't do that. Somebody will actually die from that.
Yeah, the request to delay the start of the match by 20 minutes to allow more people to get in, that was declined.
Wow, what a shock.
They're like, nah, bitch. I'm happy to find.
I'm glad you are.
So with an estimated 5,000 fans trying to enter through the turnstiles, the police managed to convince them to open a large gate, Gate C, that ordinarily permitted the free flow of supporters departing the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They were also opening two gates A and B to help relieve the pressure. And after an initial rush, thousands of supporters entered the stadium, steadily at a fast walk.
And also drunk.
Yes.
I feel like I cannot emphasize enough that everybody was very likely quite drunk by this point.
I don't know, the English can handle their liquor better than we can.
Which should tell you how drunk they were.
Yes.
Shut up.
I had far too much fun watching you struggle.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway. Bunch of drunk English people. Power walking into the stadium.
Probably not entirely straight walking.
Yeah.
They were stumbling.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like gay walking, because gays like walk super fucking fast.
Also that.
It's like, well, they say it's about a 15-minute walk. Ha, joke's on you, I'm a queer with anxiety. I can make 15 minutes, I can make that in 8.
You could make it in 5 if you lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's how Patrick Hines walks.
Oh god, he just like super sonics himself across.
He makes it into 3 minutes if you tell him there are Cosmos there.
Cosmos and Dominoes.
Yep. There you
got it. Okay, done. Done.
Dax says everyone gets a little gay when they are drunk.
That is... Yep. You're not wrong. Yeah.
Do you know how much we were flirting with Doxy whenever we got so drunk at the last TwitchCon? We were literally telling her how much we loved her.
It's less flirting and more just, like, trying to, just, like, falling into full-blown lesbianism. Yeah. I've known you for all of 5 minutes. Let's get married.
That's how I was. So because thousands of people were flooding in, this led to overcrowding in pens 3 and 4, creating a pressure at the front. Mm-hmm. So hundreds of people were pressed against one another, and they were pressed into the fencing. And right. they couldn't move, they couldn't do anything because the weight of the crowd pressing against them behind them.
And so returned harmony and concord hand in fabulous hand, another royal save of the great cosmos.
Where's my spirit animal?
We killed him.
But I want him back.
The king has been so long asleep that his cup of dreams is full and oops, spilling over. Visions of then and now and forever and ever. I'm trying to be very dramatic with this. A fabulous flood, a royal romantic strasse. Cosmic confetti for the carnival of carnivals. Okay.
So people were still entering into the stadium completely unaware that there were sardines.
Not aware that they were basically like walking into their depths.
Yeah, and police and stewards were usually at the entrance to help direct people to the side pens. But on this occasion, for reasons not fully explained, they were not there. And they did not help.
Yeah, the cops also weren't around during January 6th for reasons that were not explained.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is it's a load of bullshit.
Conspiracies transcend borders.
Mm-hmm.
So... the match between Liverpool and Nottingham started at 3 p.m. as was scheduled, with fans still just pouring into pens 3 and 4 at the rear entrance.
Okay.
So, because the match had started, for quite a while, the problems at the pens were largely unnoticed, except by the people inside them being crushed, and a few police at the end of the pitch. Liverpool's goalkeeper, Bruce Grovelar, that's my best attempt, I'm not sorry, he reported fans from behind him pleading to him for help as the situation worsened.
Oh shit. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the police first attempted to stop fans from spilling out of the pens. Because they thought, oh, it's a pitch invasion. Not these people need help and they're trying to alleviate the pressure. It's, oh, them hooligans.
Oh, them hooligans, at it again. Right, let's take care of this one, Governor. Too right, mate. Quite chuffed about this, I am.
So, at approximately 3:04 p.m., a shot from Liverpool's Peter Beardsley hit the bar, and possibly connected to the excitement, a surge in Pen 3 caused one of its metal crush barriers to just completely give way.
Great.
Yeah, so... the ground commander, South Yorkshire Police Superintendent Greenwood, my god, too many fucking names. He kind of realized what was going on and ran on the field to get the referee Ray Lewis's attention. And this stopped the match at 3:05:30. You know it's real bad when we got the seconds.
Yeah, we got the seconds. Oh, shit.
And it stopped here as fans climbed the fence in an effort to escape the crush and basically get themselves freed. By the time, a small gate in the fence had been forced open, and some fans escaped via this route, while others continued to climb over the fencing. Shit was real bad.
People were fucked.
Yeah, people were doing literally everything possible to try and get out of this.
And it was not working out?
Not really.
Oh.
And again, other fans were pulled to safety by people in the west stand above on the terrace, just reaching out their arms and pulling people up to them.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's something, like, as someone who's actually pulled somebody up along, like, because I was in summer camp, I did that. Pulled somebody up a 12-foot climbing wall. That is really fucking hard to do.
I imagine they had like 4 other people helping them.
It's still really fucking hard to do. Like, it is a full human being. It is full, like, literally nearly 200 pounds of full fucking dead weight.
And imagine the person that they're pulling up probably had to climb on top of other people in order to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
The intensity of the crush broke more crush barriers at the terrace. And holes in the
crush cannot be contained.
Yes, actually. Holes in the perimeter fencing were made by fans desperately trying to either escape or allow for others to get out and get rescue.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And the crowd in the Leppings Lane stand spilt onto the pitch. Because again, there's so many people here that they're breaking down the fencing, trying to alleviate the pressure.
Give it all she got, Captain, but she can't take much more of the pressure.
Yeah, so football players from both teams were ushered to their respective dressing rooms and was just told, oh, there's a 30-minute postponement.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just hang out here.
Yeah.
Nobody's dying, we promise.
Yeah, those still trapped in the pens, a lot of the victims died from compressive asphyxia while standing up.
Oh.
Their chests were literally crushed from being bound so tightly they couldn't get a breath in. Meanwhile, on the pitch, police, stewards, and members of St. John Ambulance Service arrived, and they were immediately overwhelmed.
I imagine so. You're the alright way to say the bloody hell.
Yeah, a whole bunch of uninjured fans were actually, once they had either gotten over the fencing or got through a little opening to get out, they were immediately turning around to try and help anyone else out, including the injured.
Well, that's really good of them.
Yeah, several attempted CPR and others just tore down advertising hoardings to use as stretchers. So they were using the big billboards to use as stretchers to help people get out.
It's actually kind of, like, that is one kind of upside to listening about disasters like this, is sometimes, even though a lot of times you find out just how horrible people are, you also really find out how amazing human beings can be in a panic situation.
Yeah, Chief Superintendent John Nesbitt of South Yorkshire Police later briefed Michael Shersby, MP, that leaving the rescue to the fans was a deliberate strategy.
Yeah, sure, okay.
And is quoted as saying, "We let the fans help so that they would not take out their frustration on the police." Sure.
This really is not the time to be like, oh, it's so difficult to be a cop.
This is not a Blue Lives Matter moment.
Yeah, this is a Blue Lives Matter moment, people.
Yeah, I'm just in here like, sure, Jam. So they had ambulances queuing at the entrance to the gymnasium, and termed it as the casualty recipient point.
What?
They termed it as casualty reception point.
My God. Wow, I actually had a worse score than the first time.
Stop trying.
I guess so, yeah. Oh well. We're just gonna be replaying stages until the end of the stream, everybody. So just focus on Kayla telling you about the horrible people, the horrible deaths.
So the South Yorkshire Metropolitan Ambulance Service, they did not have a good go-around with this disaster.
Yeah, I imagine not.
Yeah, so while they still made a point as to where the ambulances were supposed to be and where people were supposed to be delivered, they didn't formally announce it into the stadium. So So while they set up a system of ferrying injured people from inside the stadium to the CRP, no formal declaration was made, so there was a lot of confusion. So, basically, since the declaration was not immediately performed, people were trying to do, like, administer healthcare on the pitch itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, they didn't have anywhere else to go.
Okay.
And once the formal declaration was starting to be made and starting to get out there to other people, I imagine they had to yell it really loud over the screams of the people dying.
Everyone remain calm!
Yeah, so the point of the CRP was to be a moving conveyor belt of ambulances to load people in. And instead, the first responders waiting in the ambulances at the CRP, whenever they learned that people were administering aid on the pitch itself, this quickly turned the conveyor belt into a parking lot of ambulances.
Wow!
And some crews were hesitant to leave their vehicles because they didn't know whether patients were coming to them or whether they had to go to the patients.
I mean, that I can actually understand. Like, what? What are we doing here?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is there was no formal, like, declaration of what the fuck was going on.
Everyone must get the pineapple into the ambulance! Wait, so am I? Pineapple! Get them to the ambulance, quickly!
So am I pineapple?
Or are they pineapple?
Yeah, the few who did leave their vehicles were immediately met with a wall of people. And realizing, oh, there's a huge distance between myself and the people I'm trying to save, not to mention the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a total of 42 ambulances arrived at the stadium. And out of this number, 2 managed of their own accord to make their way into the pitch. They were able to get 2 full-ass ambulances.
That is amazing. They're just like, welp.
A 3rd ambulance made its way onto the pitch later. So a total of 3 ambulances ended up on the grass trying to help people. And the remaining 39 were able to transport 149 people to hospitals for treatment, but they had to, their asses had to wait outside.
It's like, motherfuckers, wait out there. We will get to you when we get to you. For fuck's sake.
Yeah. So, immediately after this whole thing happened, condolences came in from all around the world, including the Queen, but who cares?
Our thoughts and prayers are with Gondor in this difficult time. Gondor calls for aid, motherfuckers! Get your asses out here!
Yes.
Everybody changes their profile picture to have like a transparent of the stadium logo or some shit.
I imagine if they could have, they would have.
Probably.
So, you know, thoughts and prayers came in from the Queen, from Pope John Paul II, U.S. President George H.W. Bush, and the chief executive of Juventus, which is basically kind of a fan club for Liverpool or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Oh god, fuck her!
And Home Secretary Douglas Hurd visited Hillsborough the day after the disaster and met survivors.
I'm sure they were super thrilled about that.
I was about to say, I'm sure they loved that.
I was like, oh god, put me back in the stadium.
Yeah.
The survivors just laying there thinking, somebody please put me back in the stadium and let me die, thank you. I want to go back and die. Like, it's like, the shooting survivors during the shootings that were during Donald Trump's presidency, and so then they'd have to, like, get visited by fucking Donald Trump. I'd be like, put me back in the fucking school and let me get shot this time. I don't want to survive anymore.
Jesus.
It's like, can you fucking imagine, like, you survive a fucking school shooting, and here comes fucking Donald Trump just like, oh yes, I'm gonna do something about this. It's gonna be the most amazing response to a shooting you ever see in your life. It's gonna be a bigly quickly responds to everything, and you're just laying there like, somebody go get the fucking shooter and have him put the gun to my head. Now that's an assumption that you're making that the shooter was male. We don't like to operate on assumptions. We're very tremendously dedicated to not assuming anything. It was probably one of the Mexicans. It's much easier to make jokes about him now that he's not actually.
I was about to say, it's a lot easier now.
It's a little bit easier, yeah.
So, the Football Association Chief Executive Graham Kelly, who attended the match, said the Football Association would not conduct an inquiry into what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, he decided to take the time to talk about how we need to upgrade our stadiums to be all-seaters to not allow for this standing room that caused this disaster.
I feel like...
You're missing the problem.
Yeah, I feel like you're missing the actual problem. It's like, it's just like that other disaster you talked about where, like, the issue was clearly this one specific thing, and then they were like, well, let's institute all these other safety measures, and it's like, okay, well, those are nice too, but this was the real problem we should do something about. I think it was the Chicago fire.
Yeah. So, the United European Football Association president Jacques Georges caused controversy by describing the Liverpool supporters as beasts.
Wow.
Wrongly suggesting that hooliganism was the cause of the disaster, which had occurred less than 4 years after the Heysel Stadium disaster, where a similar thing happened.
Great.
His remarks led to the Liverpool Football Club calling for his resignation, but he apologized on discovering hooliganism was not the cause.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
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 So sorry.
In the Football Association Cup final 5 weeks after the disaster, players from both Liverpool and Everton wore black armbands as a gesture of respect to the victims.
Aww.
Which I'm just like, you know what? That's more respectful than I've seen some other people be.
That is true.
And, let's see. During the final match of the 1988-1989 English Football League season, on May 26, 1989, between Liverpool and Arsenal, the Arsenal players presented flowers to fans in different parts of Anfield in memory of those who died at the Hillsborough Disaster.
Wow, that was genuinely nice.
Yeah. And then there was a disaster appeal fund set up.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the disaster appeal fund was set up with donations of 500,000.
I hate how immediately I got like wary of that.
I
hate how cynical this series has made me, because you said that and I was just like,
It's understandable, especially after what happened with the mudslide or the pitch slide people.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know,
you have to prove how much you love your child.
And also your child needs to be dead.
Yeah. Can't be traumatized.
Yeah, none of this bullshit traumatizing thing. Rub some dirt in that, kiddo.
So they got £500,000 from the government, £100,000 from the Liverpool Football Club, and $25,000 each from the cities of Liverpool, Sheffield, and Nottingham. That was all put into the appeal fund. Liverpool donated the share of the money they would have received for the game as well. So, you know, it seems like people actually kind of gave a shit.
It does kind of feel like that, which is very odd. I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, where's the catch?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that too. So, they also allowed in donations from like individuals, schools, businesses, and within days they had over £1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'm still sitting here waiting for the catch though.
And with the appeal closing the following year after the disaster, they had raised over £12 million. And much of the money went to victims and relatives of those involved in the disaster, and it actually provided funds for a college course to improve the hospital phase of emergency care.
Okay. I'm still so, like, you can hear it in my voice, I'm just like, okay, and then?
That's it.
Oh, no and then?
Well, with the Disaster Appeal Fund, that's it. It just legitimately went to help the people who needed it.
Wow, I'm so not used to that. I'm kind of scared.
I know. And,
Mom, can you come pick me up? I'm scared. Ha 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 ha! It's a Mean Girls reference. Ha 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 ha! It's October 3rd. Ha ha ha! Mean Girls. Ha ha! Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, just it's Mean Girls Day, so I gotta make a reference.
Okay.
To a movie I've never fucking seen.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, but like,
it's been
the more
really hyped up way too much.
Yeah, like the more everybody keeps saying, best movie ever. Now it's that side of me is kicking in, and it's like, now I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'll blame you. So let's get into something sad. By the disaster's 10th anniversary.
Here's the and then.
And then, in 1999, at least 3 people who had survived were known to have committed suicide.
Right. Survivor's guilt is a fucking thing, man.
Another survivor had spent 8 years in psychiatric care, and there were cases of alcoholism, drug abuse, and broken marriages involving people who had witnessed the events. Yeah. So a total of 97 people died as a result of injuries during the disaster. 94 people aged from 10 years old to 67 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They died that day, either at the stadium, in ambulances, or at the hospitals, but they died that fucking day that it happened.
I want to try again. I want to do better.
Yeah, over 766 people were hospitalized with, 766 were injured and 300 were hospitalized.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. On April 19th, the death toll reached 95 when 14-year-old Lee Nickel died in the hospital after his life support machine was switched off. The death toll went to 96 in March 1993 when life support was cut off for 22-year-old Tony Bland after nearly 4 years, after he was put in a persistent vegetative state. And this year, Andrew Devine, age 22 at the time of the disaster, suffered similar injuries to Tony Bland and was diagnosed being in a persistent vegetative state.
Please tell me they let him go.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
In March 1997, just before the 8th anniversary, it was reported he had emerged from the condition and was able to communicate using a touch-sensitive pad, and he had shown signs of awareness of his surroundings for up to 3 years before.
Okay.
Devin died in 2021 as a consequence of his injuries, with his health being ruled by the coroner to have been an unlawful killing.
Okay.
So basically, he was able to survive from his major injuries suffered on that day. But because he still died as a result of those injuries, he's still seen as a...
Yeah, no,
He's still seen as a victim of the disaster.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
But fucking hell, managed to survive until this year. You a badass.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like, I'm just kind of like overwhelmed by all that. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So did anyone face any consequences, or?
Well, there were 2 inquiries that were put in on it. One of which was only like a couple of years ago, actually.
Oh. Wheels of justice grind slowly.
One coroner's inquest that was between 1989 and 1991. It was opened and adjourned immediately after the disaster, and it picked up again in 1990 in November.
They're just like, we are all going to investigate this to the best of our ability, and I'm bored.
I know. Well, see, the whole thing is this coroner's inquest was really controversial.
Ooh.
The South Yorkshire coroner, Dr. Stephen Popper, limited the main inquest events up to 3:15 on the day of the disaster.
Okay.
9 minutes after the match was halted and the crowd spilt onto the pitch.
Okay.
So he didn't look into anything after 3:15. That was the deadline.
Oh, so people who just, like, died of their injuries afterwards, just fuck you?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Popper said this was because the victims were either dead or brain dead by 3:15 p.m. That is not true.
Yeah, that's very much not true. Retry.
The decision angered the families, many of whom felt the inquests were unable to consider the response of the police and other emergency services after the time.
Which, they were correct.
Yeah, and instead of putting blame on anything, they ruled it as accidental death on March 26, 1991. Instead of negligence causing the death.
Right, instead of unlawful death.
Yeah. So, families were pissed.
Understandably so.
They were hoping for an unlawful killing or an open verdict for manslaughter charges to be brought against the officers who were present and did nothing at the disaster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were hoping for consequences for the cops? Well, hoping to one hand, shit into the other, and see which one fills up first.
Well, see, there's a bit into this.
Oh.
So, Popper's decision regarding the cutoff time of 3:15, it was endorsed by the divisional court, who considered it to be justified in light of the medical evidence available to him at that time. You smell that?
It smells like bullshit.
Yeah.
Smelling a lot of bullshit. See you later, Panda Brady. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye! Relatives later failed to have the inquest reopened to allow for more scrutiny of police actions and closer examination of the circumstances on individual cases.
So, yeah, it was like, well, that's still the information he had at the time. Why don't we allow him to look at more information? No.
Well, families believe that Popper was too close to the police. You gonna hear this shit?
Oh, you about to lay down some tea. Kayla's in the tea spilling pose. Y'all know the tea spilling pose.
After the verdicts, Barry Devinson, who lost his son at the disaster, witnessed Popper hosting a celebration party with police officers.
Oh. So, yay! We didn't get blamed for all the deaths!
Pretty much. Yeah, one of the instances where the circumstance of death was not fully resolved was that of Kevin Williams, the 15-year-old son of Ann Williams. Ann, who died in 2013, rejected the coroner's decision that the Hillsborough victims, including her son, had died before 3:15, citing witness statements that described him showing signs of life at 4 p.m. Her appeal was unsuccessful.
Of course.
And the Hillsborough Independent Panel considered the available evidence and stated that, quote, the initial pathologist's opinion appeared definitive, but further authoritative opinions raised significant doubts about the accuracy of that initial opinion.
Yeah.
Popper had excluded the witness evidence of two qualified doctors who had been inside the stadium on the day and who had been critical of the chaotic emergency response. So he threw away witness statements. Great sign.
Yeah, no, this seems totally legit.
Yeah, both those views were completely dismissed by the Taylor report, which was the initial inquiry into what happened.
I don't know why anyone would have assumed that there was any type of a conflict of interest here. Where on earth did y'all get that impression? That's just crazy talk right there.
Yeah, the two doctors, Drs. Ashton and Dr. Phillips, they gave evidence at the later inquiry known as the Warrington Inquest. And
the Warrington inquiry, holy shit, that sounds pretty badass, not gonna lie.
It was the later one that was like, we're gonna actually look into this.
Yay.
Yeah, so Dr. Phillips stated the exclusion of their evidence was a serious error of judgment by Popper. Can't imagine why they thought that. Can't imagine.
Can't imagine either.
Yeah, he said, quote, I can't fathom why he didn't call us other than he specifically did not want to hear our evidence, in which case the first inquests were colored and flawed before they even started.
When you make a point, you make a point.
Yep.
Hey, Reaper.
Hey, Reaper. Oh. I have a little blood on my fingernail. I pricked myself on that point they made.
That was pretty good. That was good.
Yeah, Drs. Ashton and Dr. Phillips were not the only doctors present at the disaster, and they, again, were not called to give evidence at the proper inquest. And the only one who was called was the Sheffield Wednesday club doctor, who corroborated what Popper said.
Yeah, who basically just said, yeah, what that dude said I agree with.
Yeah.
Great.
After the disaster, Lord Justice Taylor...
Oh boy! And the Lord's involved in this!
He was appointed to conduct the inquiry into what happened.
Okay.
The inquiry sat for a total of 31 days, and they ended up publishing 2 reports. An interim report which laid out the events of the day, and immediate conclusions, and the final report, which came out January 19th of 1990, which outlined general recommendations of football ground safety.
Okay.
How much bullshit do you think is going to be in this?
I'm smelling it from here already, I gotta be honest with you.
Taylor concluded the policing on the day broke down, and the main reason for the disaster was the failure of police control. Which I'm just like, it can be more than one thing.
Nope, gotta be one thing.
But nuance.
Nope, no room for nuance here. We got a disaster to cover up.
Yeah, Sheffield...
We got police to protect.
Sheffield Wednesday was also criticized for the inadequate number of turnstiles on Lippings Lane and the poor quality of the crush barriers that were basically destroyed at that point. So, it's kind of blaming police and kind of blaming the people who own the club. Which, I mean, you're not wrong, but why couldn't you get a better coroner inquest?
'Cause, fuck you.
Very much. So Taylor found that there were no provisions in place for controlling spectators at the turnstile area in terms of what the police could do. Yeah, he actually dismissed a claim by senior police officers saying that they had no reason to anticipate any problems.
This whole thing, I will keep in mind, because I literally said, wow, isn't it fun whenever the disaster gets some practice runs?
Yep. And he brought up those practice runs. Yeah, he said the failure by the police to give the order to direct fans to empty areas of the stadium was described as, quote, a blunder of the first magnitude. I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, sure, blunder. We'll go with that. That's
not viscera and gore. That's paste and jam.
Yeah. Jam.
See, we can put funny words onto horrible things too.
Oh dear, I believe I've made a bit of a blunder.
So, he also stated that the decision to allocate Liverpool spectators to the west and north ends, he said, quote, I do not consider choice of ends was causative of the disaster. So, he said, it's not the fact that you picked those ends. That's not the issue, even though it totally was the issue.
That totally was the issue.
It completely was.
Damn it. That too big for that stupid thing.
Yeah, he concluded that the behavior of the Liverpool fans, including accusations of drunkenness, were secondary factors, and said that most fans were, quote, not drunk, nor even the worse for drink. And he said that this formed an exacerbating factor, but that police were really quick to call out drunkenness of fans as the big problem, even though it wasn't.
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, it didn't help things, but it also wasn't the cause.
Yeah. And he also concluded that the disaster had been no fault on the part of emergency services. I don't know why that was ever a question.
Yeah, it's like, nobody said anything bad about the ambulance people.
Yeah, and he described the senior officers of South Yorkshire Police as defensive and evasive witnesses. Defensive and evasive witnesses.
Defacing.
Defasive.
We tried to talk to them and then we tried to talk to them and then they ripped their bloody fucking faces off. It was goddamn terrifying, I'll tell you
that's a
what.
hell of a way to stop a conversation.
My God. Imagine. The cops are like, we're not letting you leave until we get all the answers, and then you just, like, unblinkingly make eye contact while you just rip your own fucking face off.
If it works, it works.
I mean, yeah, don't talk to cops, so yeah, do what you gotta do, folks. Just don't talk to the cops. Cannot stress that enough. Do not speak to police. Even police know not to speak to police.
Yeah. So, the effects on the stadiums in Britain, the Taylor Report had a deep impact on their safety standards, especially as far as perimeter and lateral fencing, which was removed, and many top stadiums were converted to all-seated stadiums.
Alright.
To get rid of standing room, which, understandable. It's a lot easier to handle a crowd and especially control how many people are allowed into a stadium when you have a set number of seats.
That's true. When you make a point, you make a point.
Yeah. So there was some scrutiny on the Taylor Report, specifically in May 1997 when the Labour Party came into office.
Oh, okay.
I don't know much about the Labour Party.
Labour Party is... I'm just gonna heavily... Alright. British people, don't fucking come for me. I'm very, very heavily simplifying this. Basically, Labour is the more liberal party, and the Tories are the more conservative party.
Okay. So anyway, Home Secretary Jack Straw ordered an investigation that was performed by Lord Justice Stuart Smith. And this appointment was not without controversy.
I imagine not.
At a meeting in Liverpool with relatives of the people involved in Hillsborough in October 1997, he flippantly remarked, quote, "Have you got a few of your people, or are they like the Liverpool fans, turn up at the last minute?"
Fucking shit, man! I mean, I like dark humor, but holy shit, maybe not in your, like, job whenever you're a fucking politician.
When you're literally meeting the families of people who died at this.
Yeah, seriously, maybe, time and... like I said, I like dark humor too, but holy shit. Time and place, motherfuckers, goddamn.
So they were mainly focusing on, looking into this inquiry with new evidence that wasn't available at the time. So because of this, any witness statements that had been altered were immediately inadmissible. Because it's like, oh, we can't use the witness statement anymore, because it's different. Because it's different.
You're different very slightly, so fuck you.
Yeah, he actually reported in February 1998 there was insufficient evidence for a new inquiry on the disaster. Is basically like, it was fine. And the worst part is, Stuart Smith's report supported the coroner's assertion that evidence after 3:15 p.m. was inadmissible.
Mm-hmm. 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 Right. You know, the downside is, like, when we do DisasterCast, usually the times whenever people, like, come together in the most incredible way to save each other in the heart of the moment is usually, like, almost immediately afterwards. It's like, yeah, now let's talk about how awful everything else was.
Yeah.
It sucks, because, like, the ones that talk about the bravery and the heroism of the people who were there, I can pretty much immediately be like, yep, these people about to get fucked over.
Yeah. So, there was an independent panel made up, and in the years after the disaster, the Hillsborough Family Support Group had campaigned for the release of all relevant documents into the public domain as to what happened. After the disaster 20th anniversary in April of 2009, excuse me, The government asked the Home Office and Department of Culture, Media, and Sport to investigate the best way for this information to be made public.
The answer was, let's not. The answer was, how about we just don't?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, an archive of all relevant documentation would be created and a report produced within 2 years explaining the work of the panel and its conclusions.
Okay.
So, in September 12th of 2012, they concluded that no Liverpool fans were responsible in any way for the disaster, and that its main cause was lack of police control.
Okay.
You're not exactly wrong.
It's like, you're not entirely, like, you kind of glanced against the point, but you still kind of mostly missed it, gonna be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, the panel concluded that up to 41 of the 96 who perished might have survived had the emergency services reactions and coordination been better.
Okay, but hold on now.
The other 55,
leave the paramedics alone. They did the best they could.
Yeah, the number was based on post-mortem examinations, which found some victims may have had heart, lung, or blood circulation function for some time after being removed from the crush. And I'm like, that is... You're right beside the point, but you're not actually
you're
hitting
still
the
just,
point.
like, very gently, just very delicately brushing up against it. Like, you're just kind of like, you're just, like, freeing the balls and just very delicately running them against the face of the point here. Yeah. But you're not quite teabagging onto the face of the point.
So let's get on to some altered statements.
Yeah, let's do that, because this metaphor is getting away from me.
So the findings concluded that 164 witness statements had been altered. 116 were amended to remove or change negative comments about South Yorkshire police.
I swear to Jesus.
The police had performed blood alcohol tests on the victims, some of them children, and ran computer checks on the National Police Database in an attempt to fix their reputation. They were like, okay, if we can prove that some of the people here were drunk and or some of them were criminals, maybe we can get away with this.
It's like,
that's a 10-year-old, Jim.
Jim, that's a bloody 10-year-old. I was drinking and hooligan out when I was a 10-year-old. 10-year-old hooligans, they're awful. They're some of the worst, because you don't suspect them. No one suspects a 10-year-old of hooliganism. Jim, please go
Yorkshire.
home. Yeah, Jim.
Sorry, I didn't... I'm from the South. I can't pronounce things right. So... Yeah, the report concluded that Conservative MP for Sheffield Hallam, Irvine Patnick, passed inaccurate and untrue information from the police to the press.
Wow, what a shock.
This is my shock voice. And they noted that despite being dismissed by the Taylor report, the idea that alcohol contributed to the disaster proved remarkably durable.
Yeah, who'd have thought? Yeah, people really wanted to believe, oh, it was the drunkard's faults.
Yeah. The evidence was released online, and it included the altered police reports.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find it online.
Great.
Yeah, so subsequent apologies were released by Prime Minister David Cameron on behalf of the government, Ed Miliband on behalf of the opposition, Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, South Yorkshire Police, and former editor of The Sun, Kelvin Mackenzie, who apologized for making false accusations under the headline, The Truth. He said, I should have written a headline that read, The Lies.
Did he actually say that?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Although his apology was rejected by the Hillsborough Family Support Group and Liverpool
Wow, who'd have
fans,
fucking thought?
as it was seen to be shifting the blame once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after this, the Hillsborough Family Support Group called for a new inquest into everything, basically. They called for prosecutions for unlawful killing, corporate manslaughter, and perversion of the course of justice in respect to the actions of the police, both in causing the disaster and covering up their actions. And I don't blame them in the least.
No, not in the least bit, my friends. You go get that cheddar, folks.
So there was a second coroner's hearing done. The High Court quashed the verdicts of the original inquest and ordered fresh ones to be held in late December of 2012. You okay?
Yeah. Yep, I'm great.
So the jury did return with a verdict of unlawful killing in respect to all 96 victims.
That's good. But
on the day after the verdicts, Home Secretary Theresa May
fucking hell!
made a statement.
You can just tell me who's involved and I'm just like, oh fuck.
Made a statement to Parliament, which included the verdicts of the jury to the 14 questions they have been asked.
Quite naughty of these people, really. Quite naughty. Even naughtier than the time I ran through that wheat field. Sorry, I had to make a wheat field reference. Anytime Theresa May is mentioned, you have to make a wheat field reference.
I don't understand what that means, but I'm okay with
So after, like, so Theresa May is an awful fucking person. Like, she is a genuinely horrific human being. People were calling for a resignation for a very long time before it finally happened. And then we got Boris Johnson in there, who's even more horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's done very, very awful things. And at one point, someone interviewed her, and they was like, "Oh, what's the most terrible thing that you've done?" You know, like. And she goes, "Oh, well, I think the naughtiest thing I ever did was sort of one time I ran through a wheat field." And that was her fucking answer.
Have you made, Miss Theresa May, have you made decisions that have led to the death of many people?
She has.
But
she's actually, so you know how, basically Minx basically just kind of had to jump through hoops and move heaven and earth to get Chrism's citizenship confirmed?
Is it because of her?
Yes. She's the one who strengthened the immigration policies and restrictions.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Made it so that people who had been granted citizenship before, actually some people even lost their citizenship. It was really, really bad, actually, the things that she did.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So, on top of the new coroner's report, there was also an independent police complaints commission investigation. So, South Yorkshire Police announced it would refer the actions of its officers to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, and West Yorkshire Police announced it would refer its Chief Constable, Norman Bettison, to the IPCC in mid-September.
Sorry, but
Some of these names, I swear to God. Bettison had been one of a number of police officers who were accused of manipulating evidence at the Hillsborough Independent Panel. And in early October, Bettison, completely of his own volition, announced his early retirement.
Entirely of his own volition. Nobody made him do it. We promise. Swearsies.
Nobody.
Pinky swearsies.
So they were going to be investigating the police in every facet of this disaster. From failure to close the tunnels to the altered reports. By October 22nd of 2012, the names of at least 1,444 serving and former police officers had been referred to in this investigation.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they found in July 12th of 2013, had found that in addition to the now 164 police statements known to have been altered, a further 55 police officers had changed their statements. So surprising. That's so surprising. And in April of 2016, the Crown Prosecution Service announced it would consider bringing charges against both individuals and corporate bodies once the criminal investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission had been completed.
There was a lot of C's there.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you for getting through that.
Thank you. This is taking a lot out of me.
Yeah.
So there were criminal and civil cases, of course.
Of course.
Let's see. Again, I'm skipping over a lot of things, so I gotta find out where I'm going at some point, so I'm sorry if there's some silence. June 8th, 2017, 6 people were to be charged with offenses in relation to the disaster, including Duckenfield. He faced 95 counts of manslaughter by gross negligence.
God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good goddamn, but still, Jesus.
Yeah, former Chief Inspector Bettison faced 4 counts of misconduct in public office.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. On August 9th, all except Duckenfield appeared in the magistrate's court. 1 pleaded not guilty on the charges against him, and no formal pleas were taken from the 4 other defendants. All 5 were, of course, given bail and were set to appear at the Crown Court on September 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Duckenfield was not required to appear, as the Crown Prosecution Service needed to apply to the High Court to lift a court order before he could be prosecuted for the manslaughter charges. Jesus fucking Christ.
There's like so much going on here.
It was only in June 29th of 2018 a ruling was made that Duckenfield will be prosecuted for the manslaughter charges.
Well. Alright. Better late than never, I guess.
On August 21st of 2018, all charges against Bettison were being dropped, as the CPS felt that there was insufficient evidence.
I'm so tired.
How the fuck do you think I feel? Okay, so September 10th, 2018, trial prep started. Duckenfield pled not guilty to all 95 charges against him. Provisional date was set January 14th, 2019, and the trial started that day before Mr. Justice Openshaw. March 13th, it was reported Duckenfield would not be called to give evidence in his defense, and that the jury would be directed to find one of the other people accused not guilty on the charge of contravening the stadium's safety certificate due to lack of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
On April 3rd, the jury were unable to reach a verdict on Duckenfield. And on June 25th, 2019, it was announced Duckenfield would face a retrial, which was scheduled for October 7th. And on November 28th, 2019, Duckenfield was found not guilty of gross negligence manslaughter.
Fuck you!
No one was really found guilty on anything having to do with this.
Fucking hell. I'm so annoyed now.
Yeah, so a whole bunch of negligence cases were brought against the police by spectators who had been at the ground but had not been in the pens, and by people who watched the incident unfolding on television. Because, I mean, of course, they had cameras there. They were broadcasting all that shit.
Yeah.
They were claiming psychiatric injury.
You know, if it gets them to pay for fucking something, fine.
Their claims were rejected because it was seen that the claimants who watched the disaster on TV or listened to it on radio weren't in the proximity of being drastically affected by it. Another psychiatric injury claim was brought by police officers on duty against the chief constable, who was said to have been vicariously liable for the disaster. Their claims were also dismissed.
Yay.
A third case was brought for the Hillsborough Disaster. But this one was allowing the life support machine of Tony Bland, a Hillsborough victim, to be switched off, which it was.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm gone and I'm not given any signs of life,
I'm switching off.
Yeah, let me fucking go.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Don't keep me alive. Let me go.
So of course there are a lot of memorials up in place. There are ceremonies held, especially on anniversaries, and there are other tributes that have been played. There are many media portrayals. There is a whole Wikipedia article called Hillsborough Disaster and the Sun, the British tabloid paper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck the Sun.
Yeah, the Sun was basically preying shit about victim blaming, kind of. So the Sun ended up with a huge drop in buyers in the Liverpool area.
Oh, what a shock!
Yeah. Again, sorry, there's a lot.
Like, it really is it's kind of hitting me just how much you've actually been having to really cut things down in order to make this all somewhat coherent.
Okay, I'm at the end. Okay, that's a Hillsborough Disaster. What we learned?
Fuck Theresa May. And Margaret Thatcher.
Sure.
Bloody hell, ain't no one ever died of that. Bollocks, ain't no one dead. That's what we learned. Bollocks, ain't no one dead.
Sure.
Ain't no one dead yet, mate. There ain't no one dead until there is someone dead. Then there's someone dead, mate. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know either. I was just kind of letting you dig your own hole there. Oh my god, that was over an hour.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot to cover.
We're probably gonna go long on this stream, guys. Not much, but a little bit.
Anyway.
Cave Creek Disaster.
Yay!
This one's a lot simpler. Thank God.
Well, yeah, we've learned that government systems have forgiveness only for the elites within that system.
Yes. Well, we already knew that.
Yeah. Like, we're just really driving it home today.
Yeah. So the Cave Creek Disaster occurred April 28th, 1995 in Paparoa National Park in New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand! Okay, we don't normally get disasters from there. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah. So, Cave Creek itself is a small stream in the Paparoa National Park. It's a body of water that comes out of a cave about 100 feet down. And what we're talking about is a viewing platform that went over the creek. It was about 100 meters up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, no, it was about 100 feet up, sorry. I don't know the difference. 100 feet up from the water, so you can look down and see the water and this huge gorge.
Oh man, I think I see where this is going.
Excuse me. So it was built by the Department of Conservation in April of 1994. It was a 40-meter chasm, sorry, with a view of where the creek comes out of the cave system.
Okay.
So the builders of this platform, they did not have appropriate qualifications.
Oh dear sweet Jesus!
They did not have any kind of licensing or anything.
Oh no. Licenses are for squares.
Yeah. You know what? Let me just talk about the disaster itself before I get into what caused all this.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. We're switching gears a little bit.
So, the day of the incident, a group of students from Taiputini Polytech in Greymouth visited the park. They were part of the natural science program.
Okay.
So, of course they were visiting the park.
Yeah, makes sense for them to be there.
So, they had a group, and they split up. A larger group of 17 students and one Department of Conservation officer went towards the platform to, get a good view and see what they could look at.
Okay.
They reached the platform and walked onto the edge together, all 17, at about 11:25 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Several students started shaking the platform.
Which they do.
And it toppled forward into the chasm. They noted how unsafe it felt, but they figured, oh, well, it's been here a while. Maybe it's fine. even though it was only built last year.
The adults wouldn't put it here if it wasn't safe.
Pretty much.
That's where blind trust and authority gets you, kids.
Question everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this chasm, 17 students and 1 Department of Conservation officer fell 100 feet.
Fucking shit, man.
Immediately on impact of this pile of bodies landing into this narrow cavern, 13 students and the DOC officer died.
Yeah?
4 students did survive the collapse with serious injuries, but they were then...
But, you know, they're kind of stuck in a fucking chasm.
They were tangled in with the bodies of their fellow students, trying desperately to cry for help, even though the other group wasn't set to arrive for a couple minutes.
Oh, no.
The second group did get to the location shortly after the collapse, probably about 10 or 15 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
And with having realized what the fuck just happened...
it's like, hey guys, has anyone seen, the platform?
The other Department of Conservation officer and one of the students, they ran back to the start of the path through the forest for help. And there was supposed to be the vehicle that they all came in, which was supposed to offer them either the ability to go and get some help, or it would make it easier for them to radio for help.
But
wait, there's more.
Oh god. Oh, we're doing the but wait, there's more. Oh shit.
Neither of them had the keys, and they were instead on one of the people that were trapped in the chasm.
Oh shit. She yelled down there, hey, Sam? Can you toss your keys up? Please?
Yeah, so...
Is Sam alive down there, guys?
So the officer ran back to the scene of the accident. Yeah, there was a woman with the second group who knew that platform was not safe for a big group of people. Don't worry, we'll get into that.
Oh, shit.
So the officer returned to the scene of the accident while the student who went with him decided, fuck this, I'm not going back. I'm gonna run to the nearest road and go to someone's house and call the police for help.
You know what? Fair enough.
And it was that reason that
It's actually a halfway decent idea, not gonna lie.
It was because of that the 4 students were able to live.
Holy shit! Good on that student!
Yeah, he just hauled ass all the way down to someone's house.
Nice work! Holy shit!
Yeah. At this point, so the student, I say student turned carrier pigeon because he was actually carrying a note containing information about the location of the accident with him.
Oh.
So he had a piece of paper.
Yeah, the one time a fucking officer doesn't want to break a goddamn window.
Yeah.
It's like, really, motherfuckers? The one time you won't break a fucking window.
Yeah, by 12:15, he had managed to phone the police and get them out there. It took an hour or two, I can't remember which one. It took either an hour or two for a police officer to get onto the scene because they had to find the location as to where the fuck they were and where the disaster was.
God. Marco, Polo, Marco,
It took another 30 minutes to an hour for helicopters and ambulances and emergency services to arrive on scene. Because they had to wait for the first officer to get there just to tell them where the fuck to go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it was real difficult for medical services to get there just because of how remote this place was in the middle of a fucking forest.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah, that police officer arrived on foot 2 hours after the incident.
The one who was supposed to, like... Which one?
The police constable that was called by the kid.
Okay, alright, so that one. Okay. Because I was there like, wait, the one that was there and went for help? What?
Well, Dex, they couldn't radio
that guy
anybody.
still just like, that guy, even now, years later, is still just out there in the middle of the woods like, hello?
So let's get a bit into what happened to cause all this.
Mm-hmm.
That caused 4 students to be airlifted out after being tangled in the bodies of their fellow students. Because, you know,
like, oh god.
hey, falling 100 feet, that's not... it's not fun. Into a chasm that has nothing but sharp rocks meeting you.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm guessing the only people that survived would have been, like...
The people who fell
in the
last.
back. Yeah. People who fell last. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. Because even though it was called Cave Creek, that's the important word. It's a creek. It's not a river or an ocean or anything. That water's not breaking your fall. What is breaking your fall is a bunch of jagged, sharp rocks.
Well, at least if you survive the fall, you hopefully don't have to worry about drowning.
Yeah, because that's the good thing they were thinking about.
Look, if I'm down in the middle of a... What was it? You said 40-foot chasm?
40 meters.
A 40-meter chasm? I'm gonna take whatever... I'm gonna take whatever amount of optimism I can get in that moment.
Yeah, 40 meters, 100-foot fall. Shit was bad.
That was a really bad fall.
Let's talk about what happened to cause this.
Yes, please.
So, Bert, you've built shit before.
I have been known to build a few things, yes.
So, you have this rock.
Mm-hmm.
And the Department of Local Conservation asks you, hey, can you build a platform that can jut out from this rock to give people a view of the creek? And you say to them, I'm not qualified to do that, and I don't fully understand how to do that. What do you think their response should be?
Oh, well, can you put me in touch with somebody who would be able to do that?
That would be the smart answer. Their actual answer was, you can figure it out.
My response would be, I'm calling the police now. I don't know what about this is illegal, but by God, I'm gonna find something.
See, the platform had not been designed or approved by a qualified engineer.
They never are! They never fucking are!
None of the people involved in the building of the platform were qualified engineers.
They never are! They never fucking are.
It's either they're an engineer who's too stingy and buys the cheap materials, or they're just not an engineer.
Remember, every bridge you've ever driven across was built by the lowest bidder.
Yeah, they crashed down the rocky cliffside until that platform got stuck. Now, Bird, I go back to your expertise.
Okay.
So you're trying to build a platform that's going to be connected to this rock face.
Yeah, I've completely lost my mind and decided, yeah, sure, I'll be criminally negligent.
How would you connect this platform to said rock face? Would you use, like, bolts or something very strong?
Oh, I'd use the most durable fucking shit I could possibly find. Like,
what about nails?
Holy fuck.
They nailed this wood into the rocks. They used nails, bitch.
You can't even really do... I mean, you can, but it's not gonna be a good... That's not a good... That's not a good...
The nails were used to secure the platform instead of bolts because they had not brought the appropriate drill needed. Because
Come back another fucking day!
Nope, we're gonna nail that shit in.
Holy shit.
Because they could not bother to have the appropriate drill, they used nails.
Holy shit.
The steps for the platform, which you would think would act as a counterweight.
Yes, that would be a good thing to do.
They had not been properly attached to the platform. They just kind of free floated there.
This is like giving me
I know.
an aneurysm.
I know.
Holy shit.
I know. That's why I wanted to talk about this one, because I knew it was gonna piss you off. Also, a permit had never been obtained for the platform.
Right, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, so by the time they realized this, the plans for the platform had been lost and replaced, and incorrect schematics were hastily drawn by an unqualified volunteer exchange student that they were going to submit for the permit.
I beg your fucking pardon, good sir.
They still never got the permit.
But yeah, I think I can remember what it looks like.
Yeah. So they had an unqualified volunteer exchange student create bogus plans just so they could have something on their records for how the platform was supposed to be.
Great.
Also, the platform was not listed in any register that would have qualified it for yearly inspections.
Oh. So...
It was only up for a year, it was fine.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, we didn't even have to worry about the yearly inspection when you think about it.
So this was an unregistered platform that did not have any kind of permit or anything.
Oh, God.
This is my favorite part.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, boy.
This is infuriating, and I'm smiling out of anger. This is how much it pisses me off.
Oh, shit.
But wait, it gets worse. A warning sign for the platform suggesting a maximum limit of 5 people had been ordered, but it was never placed and installed at the site. They had it sitting at the office.
We'll get around to that.
You had a warning sign. You had it.
You had literal and figurative warning signs whenever you think about it.
They were too lazy to put up the warning sign.
That is just insane to me. I'm gonna be honest.
So, besides these specific flaws in the platform and the methods, because they were made by unregistered engineer or unqualified people, the commission who investigated this after shit happened, said the root cause of the collapse were the systematic problems in the Department of Conservation as a whole, because the department was underfunded and under-resourced.
Okay, but you can still put a sign up.
You can still put a sign up.
It doesn't cost money to do that.
No, to distraction, the sign didn't fall off, they just never put it up. It's like that meme. You can't have your sign fall off if you never put it up.
Oh, God. Eddie Murphy tapping the side of his head.
Yep. So the commission found the department had not been given sufficient resources to meet its requirements without cutting corners. Cutting corners is very generous for getting unqualified people to build your platform. By nailing wood into rocks.
Which you can't do!
No, you can't.
That's not how that works! You cannot nail into a fucking rock. I mean, you can, but it's not gonna hold. It's not designed for that. Nails aren't designed for that.
I'm surprised that thing lasted a year.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it noted that they were frequently forced to accept poor quality standards because of their lack of funding. Then just don't make the platform!
Yeah, it's like, well then, we could just not make the platform.
So 10 years after the accident, survivor Stacy Mitchell said that he and some other students were shaking the platform hard when it collapsed, which he had not reported at the time due to fear of being blamed. It doesn't matter that you were shaking it, that thing was gonna fall.
Yeah, like, that thing was still unsafely built.
Yeah. Yeah, evidence in the inquiry indicated the platform should have been designed and built to tolerate that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, I understand why he was scared to come out, but at the same time, dude, it's not your guys' fault. That shit was gonna fall.
Yeah.
They should have done their job.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys were dumb college kids.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just...
That
oh,
shit
you
is
did
to
a dumb
be expected.
thing? The thing that everyone should kind of be prepared for kids to do whenever you operate something that kids are going to go on a field trip for? Wow, what a shock.
What a shock. So, soon after the incident, the Department of Conservation inspected more than 520 structures that they had, and 65 of them were closed for repairs. Hopefully they were able to actually afford, like, engineers and shit.
Probably not.
No. Yeah, a whole bunch of structures on public land were removed for safety concerns, and safety notices appeared on the rest of them in New Zealand that weren't closed or removed. Some bridges and platforms were labeled with signs that read like 1 person maximum.
Oh, they put those signs up?
Yeah. Yeah. They were criticized a bit for like, oh, they're just overzealous going overboard on everything, and I'm just like,
when it comes
13
to safety,
kids are dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to safety, there really is, in my opinion, at least no such thing as going overboard.
So, although the Department of Conservation did take responsibility for the accident, there were no prosecutions at the time. Do you want to guess why?
Why?
New Zealand law at the time did not permit the Crown to prosecute itself.
Huh. Unfortunate oversight on our part there.
It's literally because they couldn't sue another part of the government. The government couldn't sue part of the government.
Well, bit of an oversight. I mean, fortunate oversight depending on which side you're on, but, an oversight nonetheless.
But $2.6 million was still paid out to the victims' families.
Well, that's nice at least, I guess.
I don't know.
I'm just like
Wait, what's
thrown by a lot of this.
what's 2.6 million divided by 18? Someone in chat do the math.
Not a lot.
I was about to say, that's not a lot for each family.
Nope.
Because it's nice to hear, like, these big numbers of, oh, these are paid out to the families, but then you actually get into how much money that leads to them actually receiving.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, Governor.
Doesn't sound like too much, not gonna lie. Doesn't seem like that much.
So, Prime Minister Jim Bolger initially...
Yeah. Sorry, wait, no, sorry, I need a minute to digest that. Okay, continue.
Yeah,
No, 2.6 million is 2,600,000.
yeah.
So it's $144,444.
Not much.
It's not much.
I lost a whole ass kid.
Yeah.
It takes $250,000 to raise a kid up to age of 18.
Yeah, you could at least give me that,
That should be the minimum required. If you lost a whole ass kid,
Not a half-ass kid, a whole-ass kid.
you get minimum $250,000. So, Prime Minister Jim Bolger.
No, I got it out. I'm good.
Okay. He attacked the report produced by the Commission of Inquiry, arguing the platform failed, quote, essentially because it lacked about $20 worth of bolts to hold it all together.
When you make a point, you make a point!
Yeah. Yeah, the Minister of Conservation, Dennis Marshall, was criticized in the media for his management of the department, rightfully so.
Yeah. I cannot argue with that.
Yeah, he eventually resigned in May 1996, just a year after the accident occurred. A new minister, Nick Smith, was appointed, and a full review of the department was conducted by the State Services Commission.
Okay.
Okay, so they actually kind of held someone responsible.
Yeah.
And a memorial plaque was unveiled in April 1996. And in
There's always a fucking memorial plaque, and it's just like, fuck you.
And it wasn't until 1998 that the track...
I can't help but sorry, just one more thing. I cannot help but notice that they were unable to put up a fucking sign that said danger, but
they put up a plaque.
Yeah, they had the motivation to get a fucking plaque up there, I guess. Okay, cool. Cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's none of my business. Sips tea.
So it wasn't until 1998 that the track was reopened to the public, and new stairs were put in to replace the old ones. The viewing platform, however, was not rebuilt.
Wow, what a shock.
The platform space has a fence around it and a lot of warning signs now.
Yeah, now they got the warning signs out.
And that is the Cave Creek Disaster. What did we learn?
If you're gonna be a place that's gonna have... If you're gonna be a place that is gonna be one of those places that kids will be taken to as a field trip type deal, fucking prepare for stupid shit to be done. I know there's some things you'll never be able to prepare for, but... Or actually, you know what? Nails don't anchor into rock. That's what we learned. I didn't think that was something that I ever needed to teach any of y'all, but just in case, as a professional, I can tell you, nails do not anchor into rock.
Thank you, Izzy, for that amazing clip. And also, I love your pronouns. Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's get to the fun one. Let's get to the Killdozer.
Alright, I've been waiting for this one, so I'm pretty excited for this.
Oh, God. Let me stretch my back.
It's gonna be our last story of the day. We saved the best for last, everybody. It's the Killdozer.
You think I'm making it up, but I'm not.
Whee!
So, people in the chat who are not from America, what's the most American thing you can think of? Is it a giant bulldozer covered in sheets of metal, welded there, with an opening that you could stick a shotgun out of to shoot at police whenever they try to stop you, while you ram the government buildings saying, "My freedoms!"
That is pretty much exactly what pops into my head whenever you say whenever you say America.
Bitch, we getting into it.
Oh man, this is gonna be so fucking good.
Marvin Heemeyer.
He got his name even makes him sound like a fucking loser. I have no sympathy whatsoever for Marvin.
No, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, let's go into this, making it very, very clear. Everybody involved in this is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and like, if you feel like, oh, I want to laugh at them, but I don't know if I should, you should. The only people who are not assholes are the innocent people who got caught in the middle of this, but the named people are all fucking assholes.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is like watching a centipede and a snake. No, it's like watching a tarantula and a snake fight each other.
Why would you do that?
No, you're not causing the situation, but it's like they're both like just happening to fight each other, and you're just like, well, I dislike both of these things, so I'm just gonna step back and let y'all have at it.
Yeah.
It's basically like that.
Yeah, fair enough. So Marvin Heemeyer was born October 28th, 1951 in South Dakota. And at the time of the tragedy that he caused, he lived in Grand Lake, Colorado, about 16 miles away from Granby.
You ever notice that a lot of fucking dickhead white men live in Colorado?
Well, yeah, it's full of snow. Where else are the white people supposed to go?
It's like, Colorado, what are y'all doing?
Having South Park.
I guess so.
Can you guys make the raid message be, "You cannot nail a rock"?
Yeah, sure, I'm down for that. Raid message will be, "You cannot nail a rock." Unless we find something better before now and raid time, it'll be, "You cannot nail a rock."
So this incident happened in Granby, Colorado.
Okay, Izzy, you actually make a great point. Izzy says, I like both snakes and spiders. Can we make that a turf and a hate preacher? You know what? You make an excellent point. Yes, it's like watching a turf and a televangelist fight. It's like, I hate both of these things, so have at it.
Fair enough.
Fuck turfs! Go ahead and get me suspended from Twitter again, fucking turfs. Those of you who are watching this and then go and mass report my my Twitter and get me suspended, go for it. I'll just appeal that shit and I win every fucking time. Go cry about it, turfs.
Die mad.
Exactly. This does happen every now and again. Every now and again my Twitter gets suspended because turfs mass report me. And I always appeal it and I always win.
This has happened more times.
Yes, it has. It has happened a few times. I'm fine with it. Die mad. Alright, anyway.
Okay, so Heemeyer, at the time of the disaster, lived in Granby, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
John Baldry, a friend of his, said that he was a likable person, as most shooters and mass disaster causers seem to be.
They're only ever likable whenever you ask their straight, hetero, cis-normative white neighbors about them. They always like them. People who are, like, outside of that narrow definition are always like, nah, that motherfucker gave me the creeps.
Yeah, Marvin's brother Ken stated, quote, he would bend over backwards for anyone.
Oh, yeah,
Bullshit.
Of course. Yeah, like, but, you know, he wouldn't not run him over with a killdozer.
Or, you know, build a goddamn sewer line.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Many people described Heemeyer as an affable person. But one local resident, Christy Baker, claimed that her husband was threatened by Heemeyer after refusing to pay for disputed muffler repair.
Oh, great. Yep.
So
everybody loves him until you get on his bad side, and then you realize he's actually a massive fucking asshole.
yeah, so Heemeyer was a welder. He ran a muffler shop.
Okay.
/ auto mechanic shop, where he just weld that problem away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this is gonna play into everything.
Yes, it is actually very important to know that he was a welder and that he did it a lot.
Yeah.
He was actually pretty good at it.
He was scarily good at it.
Yeah, that's all really important to know.
So the zoning dispute, the thing that caused all of this. So in 1992, Heemeyer purchased 2 acres of land for about $42,000.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to build a muffler shop on it. And 2 acres of land for $42,000, that's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
Heemeyer did not think to ask, why is this land so cheap?
Yeah, that would be my question.
The biggest reason that it was cheap was because he would have to pay almost double that to build a sewer line out to the main road, which was required.
There it is.
There it is.
Businesses are required to have sewer lines.
Because, you know, you gotta have a place for your employees to shit. Even if it's literally just you, because it was just him, he needs a place.
Yep. Health and safety, labor board requirements do require a place, specifically a place for your employees to safely defecate.
Yep. So, Heemeyer was kind of attacked by the local city board of, because he still opened his muffler shop and he still had his business going, but he didn't have the sewer line.
That's not being attacked, that's just somebody saying, hey dude, you still need to follow the law.
That's how he phrased it. They let him go on for 5 years. Just having his muffler shop and sending him notices, you need to get this done or else you're gonna be fined, your business is gonna be closed, and we're gonna have to take the property, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They let him get away with that shit for 5 years. After 5 years, they told him, your business is closed until you get the sewer line. After having a business open for 5 years, don't you think you would have been able to save $80,000 to make the sewer?
I feel like at some point you could have scraped together $80,000.
Nay, nay, I say. Nay, nay.
I love the way you just phrased that. Nay, nay, I say.
I stole that from Bailey Sari, and I will completely admit to it.
Still good.
So he basically went, no, I'm not gonna build my sewer line. And they basically went, okay, bye-bye business, bye-bye property. So
it never really does good to, like, call the government out on its bluff.
Yeah. He tried to, you know, get some rezoning done on the area to try and get around the law. That did not work.
God, this all sounds familiar.
I was about to say.
Which reminds me of the homeless shelter fiasco.
Yep.
I'll tell that story another time.
It's far too. That will be an entire disaster cast.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I could legit just get notes from, like,
yeah,
Grandma, and just be like, tell me everything.
Mm-hmm.
I could get out the paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a result of Heemeyer basically being called out on calling the government's bluff, he agreed to sell the land to Cody Doshev to build a concrete batch plant for $250,000. Which, considering you put $40,000 into that land and built a shop on top of it, Cody was like, you know what, I'll be a nice guy, I'll buy this for you. his business was doing great. So he was like, I'll give you more than enough for the land. Just because he needed a place to mix and make all the concrete that he was selling.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. He's like, you know what? Okay, I'll work with you. Either way, it sounds like we have options.
Yeah, he's got options. He's not just stuck with this piece of land. And Cody's wife said Heemeyer changed his mind and increased the price to $375,000.
Oh yeah, he's one of those fucking dickheads.
And then to a deal worth approximately $1 million.
Like, no, motherfucker, you ain't even got a fucking sewer line. I have to pay for that. Because I'm actually gonna do that.
Yeah. And negotiations were happening while the zoning board was basically brought in to ask, hey, can we build a concrete plant here? And in 2001, they approved the construction of the concrete plant, and Heemeyer unsuccessfully appealed the decision, claiming the construction blocked access to his shop.
Like, motherfucker, I offered you money!
You sold him the land in front of your shop!
Like, and you sold it, and you took it! I offered money! You took it! We were good!
Yeah, so he's like, I'm pissed off now because this land that I sold in front of my shop that I knew was being used for a concrete plant is now being used for a concrete plant.
Oh, I hate this guy so much.
And again, he was still being fined by the city council for not having the sewer line, even though he sold the
By the
land.
way, us again. How about that sewer line?
Yeah, so he got the money now to pay for the sewer line to be installed, but now he had to go to Cody and ask for permission to go through the land that he just sold him to make the sewer line.
God damn. What did Cody say?
You oversold me this land and kept trying to raise the price on it. Fuck you.
I don't blame him.
So the killdozer. This was what sent him over the edge.
What, the thing with Cody, or is there an upcoming thing that sent him over the edge?
The thing with Cody.
Okay.
It was all about this land dispute and $80,000 needed to pay for a sewer line because you can't manage property well.
Feels like you could have at least, like, given enough thought to be like, hey, I'll sell this to you for this price, but in return, you need to give me access so that I can build the sewer line that the government's been on my ass about for a while now.
And with how he was in the beginning, I'm pretty sure Cody would have been perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, he was pretty affable, it sounds like. A lot more patient with the guy than I would have been. I'd have been like, fuck off a very long time ago.
Yeah, so Marvin Heemeyer was thrown over the edge after all of this.
Oh yeah, he was thrown over the edge.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cody, who's dealing with all this shit, is still like totally reasonable and calm. Yeah, I love whenever people say, "Oh well, I just went over the edge," and like the shit that they're doing is so much more unreasonable, and like other people are being far more patient with them. And it's like, really, this sent you over the edge? Because if the other person had said that, if you had told me that this was Cody who did this, I'd have 100% believed you.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, you know what? Fair.
The nose, Marvin.
Yeah. Fucking constant victim complex motherfuckers. I bet he voted for Trump, too.
I'm sure he would have.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, would have. Anyway, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
So, what Heemeyer did was he took a bulldozer, a modified Komatsu D355A, which he referred to as an MK tank, in his 3 audio recordings that you can find and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much...
This guy did not snap. I do not believe this whole
Oh
snap
no,
thing.
he
knew
recorded
exactly what he was doing. Whenever you're recording shit and saying what you're gonna do, I do not believe that you snapped.
He was recording this shit a couple months in advance of the oncoming disaster, claiming that God was blessing him to get this done and to, take revenge for the wrongdoings that have been done against him.
Mm-hmm.
So, white male shooter syndrome.
Yeah.
And again, you can find these recordings and listen to them. I don't recommend it, but you can.
If you want to listen to a crazy man, then, you know.
It's like listening to the manifesto of, like, the Virginia Tech shooter or the YouTube shooter.
Yeah. It's just like you're listening to all this shit and you're like, you dumb motherfucker.
Pretty much.
Like, it's like you know that they've done this horrific thing, but at the same time, all you think is, God damn, you fucking little pissant. I swear if I saw you in person, I would actually bully you.
Yeah.
Like John Wayne Gacy. You learn everything that you learn about John Wayne Gacy, but when you start learning about his past, you realize he's the guy you would have bullied in school.
Yeah.
And I was a loser in school, and I would have bullied this motherfucker.
Samesies!
Anyway.
So, let's talk about his killdozer.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So this bulldozer, which he referred to as his MK tank, was fitted with makeshift armor plating covering the cabin of the bulldozer, the engine, and a part of the tracks. So he was trying to cover up anything that the police could get a shot at him for.
Yeah?
Either shoot him or shoot the engine to try and stop it.
Yeah. Almost like he planned this or something.
Yeah. This armor was over 1 foot thick. And it was mainly a concrete mix sandwiched between sheets of steel.
Remember that part where he was a really fucking good welder?
Yeah.
Scarily good at it.
Yeah, so having 1 foot of basically concrete covered in sheet metal, it made it impossible for small arms and most explosives to affect this thing. Almost like he planned it.
Almost like he had a plan or something.
For context, 3 external explosions and over 200 rounds of ammunition that were fired at the bulldozer had no effect on it.
Fucking shit, man.
He planned this shit out.
Yeah.
He was a psychopath.
Yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Don't you love the jump button?
Yeah, I do. Makes my life so much fucking easier. I'm about to become a psychopath, speaking of which.
This
This will be the thing that makes bird snap is the fucking jump button.
So for visibility, the bulldozer had several video cameras linked to 2 monitors inside the dashboard. Because, you know, if you're covering up...
he was specifically recording this for posterity.
He was recording it and just so he would be able to see where the fuck he was going.
Yeah, that too. Almost like he had a plan!
And the cameras were protected outside by 3-inch shields of clear bulletproof glass.
Almost like he had a plan!
Yep. And a compressed air nozzle was fitted to blow dust away from the video cameras.
Almost like he had a plan!
Today's phrase of the day, kids.
Almost like he had a fucking plan!
And an onboard, several onboard fans and an air conditioner were also hooked up to keep Heemeyer cool while he was driving. So, Ray Kudo, you mentioned the big oven. He had a plan for that.
Almost like he had a plan!
He had made 3 gun ports fitted for a 50 caliber rifle, a 308 semi-automatic rifle, why do we sell those things, and a 22 LR rifle, all fitted with 1/2 inch thick steel plates.
Almost like he had a plan!
Yeah, so it's kind of believed that he had no intention of getting out of that thing after he got in. Which was proven to be true, because what he did was, with the top covering the cabin of the bulldozer, he couldn't, like, lift it up and lift it down, otherwise the police would have found that they would have been able to enter in. So what he did was he had one of those big pulley systems that you use for, like, engine blocks. He had that, he got into the killdozer and he lowered the top on top and, like, welded it shut, basically.
He basically made sure nobody could pull him out.
Yep.
Jesus. Almost like he had a plan! Say it with us, kitties.
Yeah. So, Heemeyer actually wrote, quote, "It's interesting to observe that I was never caught. This was a part-time project over a 1.5 year time period."
Yeah, that really is kind of frustrating.
Yeah. He was surprised that several men who had visited the shed where he was building this thing in the past year had not noticed the bulldozer, and they didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, you know, whenever you hear that shit about, they were so clever, that's how they got... No, it's just because...
Small town politeness.
Stupid. Yeah, people are fucking stupid. It's like whenever you see the serial killer movies and the serial killer is so intelligent and he's like 3 steps ahead of the police at every turn.
No, that's not actually what happened.
Yeah, and then you watch true crime documentaries and it's like, yeah, so the police were called on this guy like 6 times.
Yeah.
But he was a white dude and he was just so nice, so, you know, nothing ever came of it. That's what happens. It's like...
That's why they possibly let the Zodiac Killer go.
Mm-hmm.
So, June 4th, 2004.
Here we go!
Granby, Colorado. Heemeyer, now locked into his little coffin that he has made of himself.
Yeah, he literally gets in there and goes, oh, well, guess no going back now.
Yep. He drove his armored bulldozer through the wall of his muffler shop.
Here's Johnny.
And guess what his first target was?
To Cody's, concrete.
Yeah.
Cody's Concrete Company.
Yep. You can hear recordings of a woman who called the police saying, "Hey, there's a giant bulldozer trying to hit our building." Our concrete building.
That just sounds so insane. It's like, yeah, so, I'm not sure what's going on. There's a bulldozer trying to ram our building.
It probably wasn't until the ceiling was starting to, you know, break off on top of her that she went, okay, fuck this.
Yeah, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so he destroyed the concrete plant. And he moved his tank towards the town.
Okay, did anyone die when he destroyed the plant?
No, I don't believe so. I'm
pretty sure they would have mentioned it if somebody
I don't
had.
see any people listed as being, like, casualties of his...
Oh. That's good at least.
Yeah. Small miracles.
that receptionist just, like, walks out just like, what the fuck just happened? And he just drives off and she's just, like, standing there next to the crumpled remains of the concrete plant. Like, what the fuck
My lunch was in there.
Like, god damn it.
It was leftovers.
Very excited about that. My leftover baked rigatoni.
Oh god, that sounds...
It takes hours to make that shit,
It does.
That potato salad took us 3 days to make. 3 days! Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'll stop derailing.
So, Heemeyer drove into town and went straight towards the town hall. Bulldozed the shit out of that. The office of the local newspaper that had talked about him in his struggle, air quotes, struggle for the building city permit, whatever.
Said mean things about me. Bulldozed.
Bulldozed that. The home of the former mayor, where the mayor's widow then resided in.
Bulldozed that.
Bulldozed that. And a hardware store owned by another man Heemeyer had named in a lawsuit.
Bulldoze that.
Bulldoze that. He tried bulldozing the library.
What happened then?
Well, the librarian and the assistants were able to gather everyone into the basement, basically.
Okay.
To avoid being directly hit. And he kind of, like, got a couple hits in on the library, and then I think he just kind of gave up.
Wow! Of all the buildings, the library is like, that's right, motherfuckers, you will never break down the walls of knowledge.
Pretty much. So, the attack ended up... This slow-moving bulldozer...
This very, very baffling incident for many people, I'm sure.
It lasted 2 hours and 7 minutes. Where he damaged 13 buildings, knocked out some natural gas service to the town hall, he damaged a truck, and destroyed part of a utility service center.
It left a lot of citizens very fucking confused.
I imagine so.
Like, just imagine, like, okay, yeah, you probably heard a little bit about the whole thing going on, but
To think it would get to this point.
Yeah, it's just like some little rumors, you don't really pay much attention, you're like, oh yeah, that whole thing with Heemeyer, whatever. And then all of a sudden, here comes this motherfucker driving through town on a fucking killdozer, and you're like,
What the fuck?
what is happening?
It's like Izzy said, it's like the scene in Austin Powers with the horribly slow steamroller.
Was it a steamroller? Nope, it was a bulldozer.
It was an armored to hell bulldozer.
You can find pictures of it. I think there are pictures.
I did post one picture in the disaster chat to show what it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no one was killed in the event, except for one, but yeah. The modified bulldozer came to be known as the Killdozer, after the name of a short story by Theodore Sturgeon. I need to read that.
And Marvin was like, fuck, why didn't I think of that name? And it's like, 'cause you're a fucking loser, Marvin!
Pretty much. Yeah, dude was a major douchebag, but he knew how to weld.
Mm-hmm.
And the damage ended up being about $7 million.
Wow. It's like, well, there goes our budget for the next 17 years or so.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, shit!
They had to end up using the reverse 911 emergency system.
Wait, what?
The reverse 911 emergency system is where 911 calls you to tell you to get out of a situation.
I've never heard of that before.
It's a real thing. I imagine they use it for, like, sudden disasters, like
Yeah, that's true.
mudslides and shit.
Yeah, that's true. And you just know that they're like, we're gonna have to do the emergency reverse 911, and you just know that a lot of the people working at the dispatch office was like, what? What is that? We can do that? What?
Yeah, the whole thing was they were calling every phone number in the system, being like, you need to get out of the area. Click. Call. You need to get out of the area. Click.
Avoid the giant bulldozer. Don't worry about it.
Click.
Actually, yeah, it called back. Actually, yes, worry about it. Just leave now. Click.
Pretty much. There are defenders of Heemeyer.
Fuck them.
They contended that he made a point of not hurting anyone with his bulldozer.
No, he did not. It was pure fucking happenstance that nobody got killed.
Ian Doherty, a bakery owner, said Heemeyer went out of his way not to harm anyone.
Yeah, but
He nearly killed everyone in that library.
Motherfuckers, you're all gonna have to pay for all that. I'd be more pissed off about that. Like, great.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not paying for this grown-ass man's temper tantrum.
Like, great. This grown-ass man had a fucking temper tantrum. Now I'm gonna have to pay for it. $7 million. I'm not joking when I say that's pretty much the entire budget for like 7 fucking years.
Yep.
Local governments do not make much.
No, they don't. Yeah, the sheriff's department argued the fact that no one was injured was not due to good intent so much as good luck.
God, I'm actually completely in agreement with the police on something. That should tell you how bad this motherfucker is.
Yeah, and remember, Heemeyer had installed 2 rifles in firing points on the inside of the bulldozer, so he could shoot out of the bulldozer, but no one could shoot in at him.
Yeah, he fully intended to take some people out if he
was gonna take as many as he could. He ended up firing 15 bullets from his rifle at power transformers and propane tanks.
Almost like he was trying to kill somebody. Yeah, almost like he wanted to kill somebody.
It's almost as if he
had a plan. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, someone reported that had these tanks ruptured and exploded, anyone within a half-mile radius would have been killed.
Yep.
Yeah, he was trying to take people out with him.
Yeah, it was literally pure fucking luck.
Yeah, this was near a senior citizen complex.
Great!
Fun. He also fired many bullets from his semi-automatic directly at Cody when he tried to stop the assault on the concrete plant.
Cody was just like, dude, what the fuck fuck are you doing?
Well, see, what happened was...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cody had got into a scraper. This is a different type of bulldozer.
He was gonna be like, I'll fight your bulldozer with my bulldozer.
Pretty much. That's literally what was happening.
Holy fuck. This has gotta be the most... And meanwhile, that poor fucking receptionist is still just like, you know what, Cody?
That's how she had the time to call the police.
She's like, you know what, Cody, get him. Get him for my... I lost my...
This is a movie, Izzy. Don't worry. It's a movie.
Yeah, it is a movie.
It's called Tread, and it's amazing.
How sympathetic is it to this cunt bag?
Oh, it's not.
I was wrong, by the way. I said that all named people are assholes. Cody was not an asshole.
Yeah, Cody... He got out his scraper bulldozer just to try and fight off the other bulldozer.
He was warding off... I just have this image in my head of him just like waving the bulldozer in front of the other bulldozer like, go away. Yeah, bulldozer jousting. So, if Cody had actually managed to disable Marvin's bulldozer, that would have been the best part. It's like, God, you are that much of a fucking loser, Marvin.
You want to know what happened?
Please tell me what happened.
Cody was trying to sideswipe him with the scraper, basically, to go him off.
Yeah,
to
pit
push him
maneuver,
off course.
basically. Yeah.
His scraper was just pushed to the side.
Oh, poor Cody.
Like there's something on the floor while you're walking and you just move it to the side with your foot. That's basically what the killdozer did.
It would have been really fucking funny if, like, Marvin had spent all of his time on that fucking killdozer and then Cody just rolls up with his scraper like, fuck it, I gotta do something, and he ended up, like, disabling it somehow. Like, you know... Like, knocked it over onto its side, and then it's like a turtle, it can't get back up. That would have been really fucking funny.
That would have been. So on top of the totally not trying to take anyone out with me, after firing a lot of bullets at this one specific guy, at Cody specifically, he also fired on at least 2 state patrol officers. And, remember how I told you he was going to hit that library and he tried going at it? There was a children's program going on at the time. There were kids in that building.
And I imagine it was a very, very public children's program that
Very
everybody
public
knew
children's
about.
program. Yep.
Everybody knew about.
Yep. At least 11 of the 13 buildings he hit were occupied whenever he was hitting them.
Almost as if he had a plan.
One officer dropped a flashbang grenade down the bulldozer's exhaust pipe, but it didn't do anything.
I mean, it was a good try.
It's
like, you know what? I don't see any of y'all coming up with any ideas, so...
I mean, I'll admit, that probably would have been one of my ideas to try and do it.
Yeah. Especially since, like, to be fair, you don't really know what all he's done to outfit this thing.
So while this is going, local and state patrol, plus a SWAT team, were walking behind and beside this bulldozer, occasionally firing at it, but again, this thing was impervious to whatever they were throwing.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God.
At one point, an undersheriff named Glenn Trader, this man,
Okay.
he climbed on top of the killdozer to try and find a way into it. Once he did it, he realized, oh God, I can't get off this thing. I guess I'm just going for a ride.
I guess I'm going on a ride, everybody. Here we go.
That's literally it.
Holy shit.
It wasn't until Heemeyer had slowed down trying to build up speed to hit a building that he was able to get off.
We're not dissing this man, by the way. That was an incredibly brave thing to do, and...
He was just trying to find a way that they can penetrate this thing.
Yeah, he was doing whatever he could to try and...
He was doing his job.
Figure it out, and we respect that. This is just such a fucking comedy of errors.
So at this point, local authorities and Colorado State Patrol feared they were running out of options in terms of firepower, and that Heemeyer would probably go against the civilians themselves.
That was a fair assumption.
Yeah. So
So?
Governor Bill Owens allegedly considered authorizing the National Guard to use an Apache attack helicopter to try and take this thing out on a killdozer.
I would have been considering it at that point, not gonna lie.
They were also thinking about taking a 2-man fire team equipped with a Javelin anti-tank missile to destroy the thing.
Why didn't they shove a potato in the exhaust or something similar to one to plug it up?
I don't know.
I guess none of them had seen Little Rascals.
What had happened was...
Oh, God.
What has stopped the Heemeyer was...
Oh, God. Oh, is this gonna be good? Because I don't actually know what stopped the guy, so is this, like, am I gonna die?
This is funny.
Okay. Oh, boy.
So remember how I told you that, he hit up a hardware store because he included the owner in, like, a lawsuit or something?
Yes.
So he was hitting that hardware store. He made it through the wall, and he was driving into the hardware store to try and take it out from the inside.
Okay. I've learned my lesson from the library, folks. Take it out from the inside this time.
Guess what the hardware store had? A basement.
I'm stopping everything, because now I'm just like, oh, shit.
Heemeyer's killdozer fell down into the basement of the hardware store, and it got trapped. He couldn't get out.
It was literally the turtle thing that I mentioned! Yeah. I didn't realize that I was actually hitting on the true answer to what stopped him!
He couldn't get out because he was trapped in the basement, and it was like the Austin Powers scene with the K turning. A big ball stopped the killdozer.
My God. Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So, guess what else happened whenever the basement...
Oh, fuck, it gets better?
Guess what else happened when the floor fell out from under the killdozer because it couldn't handle the weight of its own awesomeness?
Oh, God, what happened next?
The radiator of the bulldozer got a plank through it. So that was ruined. And the engine started leaking because all of the debris just whooped upwards into the killdozer. He had armored the top of it. He didn't armor the bottom of it. So whenever he fell through, everything that he was falling through just shot up into the engine.
Dream Warrior, we were both right. Dream Warrior said, why didn't they shove a potato in the exhaust or something similar to one to plug it up? And I said, why not try to just, like, knock it over like a turtle and see if it tries to get back out? Dream Warrior, we were both right!
Yep.
He was stopped by a hole.
Yeah, so the engine failed.
Oh, God.
And one tread of the killdozer was kind of sticking out a little bit, where it could kind of get to the main floor of where the hardware store was, but the other tread was stuck in the basement, so the best he could do would be to just, like, spin on one tread. He can spin in a circle.
Did they, like, stand there and watch him, like, go in a little circle trying to get out?
I think there's video footage of...
And everybody else, and like, okay, this is one of those, like, small towns. So you just know that those small town guys, the old men who, like, hang out in the Burger King all through the day and drink coffee and gossip, you know, those guys?
Yep.
You just know that they were there, like, sipping their coffee, one hand in their pockets, and just, like, dip in their mouths, like, yeah, asshole Marvin.
At it again.
And Marvin's at it again. How you doing there, Marvin?
A little bit stuck here, Jim.
Yeah. Well.
Can you give me a toe, Jim?
Yeah, no, Jim just like comes out like he gets stuck in there, and Jim comes out and just goes, Marvin, you look like you're stuck. Thanks, Jim. Thanks. I've noticed. Well, good luck with that.
You can't give me a toe?
Nope. No, you're kind of an asshole, Marvin.
You took out the hardware store.
They just like hang out. They just hang out, just like eating sunflower seeds and spitting the shells at the tank, watching it bounce off the treads as it goes around in sad little circles.
And then the engine failed, so he couldn't go into sad little circles.
Wah, wah. Wow, Marvin, this is pretty lame.
So a minute later, one of the SWAT team members reported hearing a single gunshot inside the cab.
Oh, man! Well, you know, to be fair.
And that was the only fatality of this whole shit show.
Yep, and this was the only fatality of the Killdozer.
Yep. It took him 8 hours to actually get into the Killdozer after hearing that gunshot. It took him 8 hours to get the metal off, go through the concrete, get the other metal off, and get to Marvin's body.
It was a lot, to be fair. It was a lot. And they couldn't go in for... So, little did we know, the whole time, all anyone needed to do is if they could have just, like, found a way underneath it, like when he rode over a manhole, like, or something, just pop your little head up as he's coming over the manhole, and you would have gotten in.
Yeah. Ray Kudo says, you know what? Let's just leave him down there. Anybody know how to weld? We'll seal him in. No, Marvin was the only welder!
Yeah, it's like, shit, Marvin was the only welder. Like, and Jim's just standing there, just like, I have my car in his shop. I really hope that some of my car body didn't go onto this thing.
I just hope he fixed my car before he went on this ride.
Hope he fixed my car before he did this.
Now I don't gotta pay him.
How did he die? Yeah, he shot himself.
He shot himself with a .357 caliber handgun. So, I mentioned it took him 8 hours to actually get to his body. That's because the police first tried using explosives to remove the steel plates.
The owner of the hardware store is just like, oh my god, they're using explosives.
It took 3 explosions for them to realize this was not working.
Let's try again. Boom.
Let's try again.
Boom.
Let's try again.
Boom.
I don't think this is working, Jim.
And Jim's just like, why y'all keep bringing me into this? I'm just watching.
You're the woman who goes dynamite fishing.
Okay, continue.
So they had to end up cutting through everything with a steel cutting torch.
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't just immediately bring out the cutting torch. Like, that would be the obvious solution to this.
You would think.
But granted, he was the only person
that just went through their entire town.
And it was built by the only person who knows how to weld, so I can see why they didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Marvin would have thought to do that.
Fuck Marvin.
Yeah, I was like, but too bad he's such a loser.
Yeah, like, they had to take the cutting torch to the steel, and then concrete. Click, 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 click. Good thing we're in a hardware store. We got plenty of hammers.
I know, right? All right,
quick, let's put some nails into this. Let's see what happens.
We're requisitioning your propane tanks for justice.
I'm so glad we saved this one for last. Yeah, so they weren't able to get to his body until 2 a.m. June 5th, the next night. Or the next day, however you see it.
Everybody came back out, they still had it? Yep.
On April 19th, 2005, remember, this happened June 4th, 2004. Mm-hmm. They basically impounded the Killdozer. They decided to scrap it a year later. So they basically sold off the pieces that they could get off to scrap yards to prevent souvenir taking.
They're like, who on earth is gonna buy this thing? And then the door flings open dramatically. A clap of thunder. The sky turns black as Cody stands in the doorway.
Oh my god! I just realized Marvin probably stole a whole bunch of concrete from the thing to make his steel walls.
Oh shit, he probably did! He probably did!
If that's not the ultimate fuck you.
Cody should be like, well, technically, that's my Killdozer, actually. I'd have given it to Cody. I'd be like, here, buddy.
Yeah, I would have asked him immediately after.
You want this?
As the government, I would have asked him, so do you want this?
Hey, do you want this?
It's not going to bring back your business, but it's partially built by your business.
The only dozer to have.
Oh my god, you know what I just realized?
What?
How do you insure against a Killdozer?
I don't know. How do you? I guess that counts as like a catastrophe, a catastrophic, unlawful situation.
Wait, he said he was blessed by God to commit this awful
So technically
tragedy.
it's an act of God.
But a whole bunch of insurance agencies don't insure for that.
Oh.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, like...
Did Cody get his money?
I wonder what those claims look like. I think you just file a standard disaster claim, to be honest with you.
Building torn down by Killdozer.
Yes, Killdozer.
So, of course, people automatically looked into the motivation. Why would Marvin do that? Because he was an asshole.
Yeah, because Marvin was a shithead.
Yeah, he left writings on the wall of his shed and recorded his 3 audio tapes to explain his motivation.
Almost as if he had a plan.
Yeah, he mailed these audio tapes to his brother in South Dakota shortly before stepping into the Killdozer. Almost as if he had a plan!
I cannot stress enough that he fucking knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, his brother immediately turned those tapes over to the FBI as soon as he saw the
You
articles
just know
and
he was like, fucking Marvin.
Yep.
Turned it over to the police, called his mom, and was like, I told you not to constantly coddle him, and now look what's happened. You've coddled him just like this, and now look at this. Look at this. The Heemeyer name is now in the dirt forever. I blame you and Dad for this.
So, Marvin in his recording said that God built him for this job. That he didn't have... he was not married or have a family specifically so he could carry out this mission.
What mission?
To take revenge. Revenge!
Thunderclap, sky turns black.
He said, quote, I think God will bless me to get the machine done, to drive it, to do the stuff that I have to do.
Didn't do much against that library.
God blessed me in advance for the task that I am about to undertake. It is my duty. God has asked me to do this. It's a cross that I'm going to carry, and I'm carrying it in God's name.
Turned out the hardware store actually had a better cross, it turns out. Hardware store had the bigger blessing.
Yeah, Heemeyer had a handwritten list of targets. So don't go saying he actively went out of his way to avoid killing anybody.
Yeah.
He had a list of people.
What was the plan after the hardware store?
I don't know.
Well, you said he had a list. I didn't know if, like, he had written out what was going to be next.
I haven't found the list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he was also gonna look at the Catholic Church and destroy that.
Okay.
I don't know. What the Catholic...
It's like, I mean, I don't really like organized religion, but I am wondering what they do to you, what the Catholics do to you, man.
Yeah, he also had the names of various people who had sided against him in past disputes and their addresses.
Oh, great. Yeah, no. He totally wasn't gonna hurt anybody.
Izzy, quote, I haven't killed a damn thing since I came to this planet. Not for lack of trying, mind you. Good. Marvin. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, notes found by investigators hinted that his primary motivation for the bulldozer rampage was to stop the concrete plant from being fully built near his shop. So the concrete plant wasn't even finished.
Wow. I really hope Cody got a good insurance payout.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, this is gonna give you some major flashbacks. You in particular, Bird.
Okay.
Heemeyer said, quote, well, he wrote, quote, I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things.
Jesus fucking
And that's just because he was so pissed off about the zoning approval.
It's like, dude. Okay, fine, your local government was a dick. Join the club. My local government fucking hates me, so, you know.
Because you're gay or who our family is?
Yes.
Okay. So, that was the tale of Marvin Heemeyer and his Killdozer.
Fucking shit, man.
And the documentary about it, titled Tread, is on Netflix.
What have we learned here today? Marvin Heemeyer had a plan. That's what we learned here today.
Oh.
Oh, what's so?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
I just found something that might be useful to the viewers, listeners.
Okay.
What have you?
Well, this has been a fun day.
It has been.
So I've enjoyed this. I hope you all enjoyed it.
I had fun. I had a lot of fun with the last one.
I'm sure you did. Alright, everybody. We're gonna end it there, and we'll be starting a new game next week. It'll probably be another Katamari game? I'm not sure yet.
I don't know.
Are you sure he wasn't a Satanic Turtle? Probably. He probably was, to be honest. All right.
And if everyone has some spare time or more curiosity about the Marvin Heemeyer case, I direct your attention to the Discord chat. There might be some interesting information there.
Definitely check that out.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out, and stick around for a raid. We're gonna raid Minx, who is doing Outlast 2 and also reading some SCPs.
If you follow the link I gave you guys, don't read the comments. Don't read it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who once it got to the internet, a lot of people were very sympathetic toward Marvin, even though he's a fucking asshole. It's like how you never look in the comments of any video talking about Chris Watts. Yeah. Because there will be a lot of shitty people who are defending him.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So, raid message is, you can't nail a rock.
You can't nail a rock.
Yeah, that's going to be the raid message. Marvin Heemeyer 100% had a plan. I hope that you all enjoyed today. We'll be doing a new game next Sunday. More disasters, more insanity. I cannot wait. Anything you'd like to share?
It's almost like
he had a plan! Jump into that raid, everybody. Go tell Minx, make sure that she is very aware that you cannot nail a rock. And, like I said, speaking of disastrous things, she is playing Outlast 2.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, thank y'all very much for coming out. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed today. I hope you guys did, too. Yeah. Well, you all did, too. Sorry.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be continuing Psychonauts 2. We'll likely be finishing up the story. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.